Hello, ladies and jerks. We're live.
Hey,
Hello.
jerks.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, ladies, jerks, friends, foes, subbies. Welcome back.
Haters.
Lurkers.
Lurkers. We love you, lurkers.
We love the lurkers. Lurkers are not a problem.
I
Not
know.
at all.
Some channel holders don't understand that. Lurkers probably make up a good 70% of your chat. Show them some love.
They're still good for the algorithm, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so tonight we have Lolita, Eliza, Tangeray, Pearl, Degenerate, and Lurker. The ever-rotating list of jerks. That
There will never be a
everybody...
shortage.
The one thing the world is never short of is jerks.
No.
Thank God.
Of course.
That's for sure. And seems like
Lurker lives matter. Yes, Crystal.
our topic has some people curious and some people shook, I guess.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shook
No.
ones.
I wonder who.
Grifters, money grubbers, and hustlers.
Hey, Ray Ray. Hey, Jen Hoffer.
Georgette. Spooky.
Becca.
Shamello. Ray Ray. Who else is in there? I can't see the recorder on my phone.
And so she's going to be listening, just not in chat. Ray Ray's barbecuing.
Ooh,
Lucky.
nice.
Okay, so let me pull up my list here. One of the things that drives me absolutely crazy is the overuse of the word grifter on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Overused and misused.
misuse. Ah! We said that at the same time.
Jinx.
Oh, Queen OG is in chat. Queen OG, I want to give you a wrench because it seems like you have some fans and I don't pay attention to chat, so that way you can
You can smack them for
in chat
yourself.
if somebody's kind of late.
She's catching our vibe. She knows how to do it, I guess. She won't be too range happy down there. We let a lot slide.
Hey,
No.
Wee Frosty Ewok. Hey, May Hazel. Sita Dale. Toe Beans. All the good ones in tonight.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of
Hey, Hazel. Yay.
people like Ray Ray that have people coming in here and making comments, and like it might be like an inside joke that we don't know about, but she would know about. So it's better if they're prepared.
Boobs have that effect on people, Queen OG. I'm telling you, really, they do.
Yeah, I heard Queen OG's a babe.
She is. She has really
She's
good
pretty.
hair.
She's very pretty.
She is.
I love the way that she's worded that because it makes it sound like they've got out the gate and they're wandering about causing havoc on the road.
Well, we all know what happens when the horse gets out of the barn.
Right?
You got to rein them in, girl.
So what do you chatters think about? Tell me your all's definition of the word grifter without going and Googling it real quick.
Yeah, this should be interesting. According to YouTube, everybody's a grifter.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think that they screw up grifter and drifter.
Yeah, kind of play on words, yeah.
I'm not sure that. But yeah, you're right. Everyone is a grifter, apparently.
People who beg for money, says Becca. That's her definition of a grifter. Okay, that I would classify as a money grubber.
Right.
But are they
There are a
grifters?
lot of those around, too.
Are they grifters if they put their PayPal, Cash App, all that stuff up and keep it on the screen? Is that begging for money, or what qualifies as begging for money?
Good question.
Verbally begging for money. I think we've all heard it.
But then there are some people that say, like, this is my job, so they're pretty outward about it.
Yeah, but it's not their job if they can't support themselves at it, correct?
Good point. Good point.
Good point.
It's a really good point. Yeah.
May Hazel got it. Someone who makes money by being up to no good.
Good job, May. Good
Grifter,
job.
the perfect example of a grifter. Does anybody remember Anna Sorkin, Anna Delvey, the
No.
Russian born German lady who came to New York and decided that she was going to pretend to be an heiress?
Yeah, like a
Oh,
Russian.
yeah.
Remember her?
Yeah.
She was a perfect example of how rich people get free stuff. They
Yeah,
thought she was rich and I couldn't give her enough stuff.
that
She's
too.
kind of like the Rachel Dolezal of being what? Rich?
Yeah.
But of another
Yes.
race? Okay. No, I never heard of her.
Okay, well, I have a short clip in case hustlers talk you out of money, grifters steal your money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gemini Slacker. I like that.
So Anna Sorkin,
Yes,
I
Akuna.
chopped it up so everybody have an idea of what an actual grifter is. And there are plenty of them on YouTube. All right, is everybody seeing that?
Yes.
Okay.
You need to meet Anna Sorokin. She convinced New York's rich and famous she was a German heiress about to inherit a $60 million fortune, and then used her lies to live the high life on their money. Anna copped 3 years in jail for her scamming, but remains unrepentant about what she did. She says there's nothing wrong with making it by faking it. Anna's scam.
And I guess I should pause every now and then because 60 minutes, I think they get a little picky about people using their content. So, all right, this is Anna.
Can you put a crawler across the screen? Fair use commentary.
Yeah. Let me.
Educational purposes only. There you go.
No, I have a crawler one too. There we go.
She pretended to
he
be the
said it
daughter
was on
of a German
Netflix.
millionaire about to strike
Yeah,
it rich
this is on
with an imminent inheritance. Her lie was so convincing, New York society welcomed her with open arms. In turn, she fleeced them, upmarket hotels and restaurants, even various Manhattan banks, out of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It's crazy how she
Around
did this.
2015, Anna Sorokin reinvented herself as Anna Delvey and headed to the Big Apple. Pretty soon, the con was on. An attractive, soon-to-be-rich heiress proved irresistible to the local social set. Anna came incredibly close to getting her hands on the $22 million by posing as her own imaginary Swiss financier, a man who would email US banks to confirm her fortune and send proof of wire transfers.
This was
She also
crazy.
forged documents to show evidence she had a bank balance of almost 60 million euros. Anna's Arts Foundation proved to be just another fake. But before it crumbled into the dustbin of unrealized dreams, she did manage to convince a bank to give her a $100,000 overdraft. It was enough cash to set up home base at a hip New York hotel and to lure a new set of friends into her web of deceit.
In 2017, when she checked into a hotel, and
Now, this was her friend. I believe she was an editor at Vanity Fair. Is that right?
Oh, wow.
Does anybody know? She was for one of those big fashion magazines, or maybe it was Vogue or something.
Wait, what's her name?
I don't remember. It did say, but I had to change the speed of this so 60 minutes doesn't freaking try to strike us for it. But she befriends a lot of powerful people. All right, I guess we can be done with this because I don't want to have them get mad at us for playing their content. But she comes to New York, pretends to be a rich heiress, befriends a lot of wealthy and powerful people, and scams the bank out of $100,000. And that's what she's kind of living on. She has the hotel convinced that her parents in Europe are going to wire them money for the cost of her hotel that she's living in New York. So she would forge wire transfers, show the manager, look here, my parents just wired the money. Chill out. Don't kick me out. So she decides she's going to go on a vacation and she wants to take some of her high profile, high class friends. And then the third day they're there, the hotel manager, and this was overseas someplace, they said, we need a working credit card on file or you guys have to leave. So Anna goes to her friend, the magazine editor, hey, can I borrow your credit card just for now? And I'll pay you back when we get back to New York. So this girl ends up with, I believe, a $50,000 hotel bill from this place overseas. And Anna had no intentions on ever paying her back. So that's how
Did
she
you say a $50,000
$50,000
hotel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and this was overseas at some kind of resort. But yeah, she had all these people convinced that she was somebody she wasn't. And that's how she was able to scam. And she tried to get the banks to loan her money under false pretenses. So, yeah, Netflix does have a documentary.
Wow, is that a new documentary? I mean, I've never seen that one. That sounds awesome, though.
Yeah, I believe it's been out for at least.
Inventing Anna is what
Wow.
it's called. Okay. Thank you, Becca.
Yeah,
I will definitely be watching that. So I'm assuming she eventually got called up.
Yes, and she spent 3 or 4 years in jail in Rikers Island, of all
Oh
places.
my God, Rikers Island.
What was her charge? Do you have any idea?
It was, I believe it was like attempted wire fraud or something that they got her on. But interestingly enough, instead of being a villain, the media like blew her up. And during her trial, I remember she insisted on having like designer clothing, and her lawyers had to go hunt for this very specific stuff for her to wear. And they even opened an Instagram account. She is in Rikers Island in jail, and she is pulling strings on the outside, having her lawyers create an Instagram account. Anna Delvey's trial looks or something. I believe it's.
Are you serious?
Wow. She's scamming all the way from jail.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's still going. And people are just like okay with it. I don't understand, but okay.
Yeah. And she became a celebrity for this, and
now she teaches classes in prison, Jenna said. I'm sure she does. Oh my God.
Yeah, so I think wasn't she deported? I believe, or maybe the pandemic held it up. She was supposed to be deported.
Yeah, because usually you are deported back to your native country, wherever you're from, you're usually deported.
Yeah. And I think her parents were even so afraid that, because I think they own like a shipping company, and they were afraid that they were going to be on the hook for all this money that was owed to people and hotels and all that stuff to pay everything back. So, am I muted? No. So anyway, grifter, that is the textbook definition of grifter. Does this remind anybody of anyone on YouTube?
Someone who pretends to be something that they're not and gaining in financial gain. That would put me in the mind of Ernie Shell.
Ernie Shell, absolutely.
Yeah. Predator hunter. No.
Actor.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole predator hunter nation thing is a total grift.
What else is he? Bounty hunter as well? Correct?
Yeah, he claims to be a bounty hunter.
And a PI. I believe he said he had private investigative licenses in multiple states.
He's probably a part-time park ranger.
Yeah. Anything government. I noticed he likes and he wants to be. It's like he's a little boy living out some type of fantasy.
Yeah, well, he
Anna Sorkin was convicted on 1 count of attempted grand larceny and 3 counts of something.
Because that's the thing about scammers. You can't. Is it illegal? Do you know what I mean? Like, what are the legal,
what defines it as being illegal?
Right.
What's that threshold? Yeah.
Right. And that brings us to Jody Sue Brown, in my opinion, would fall under the category of grifter, because she comes on here pretending to be afraid for her life, pretending to be a battered woman, and all this other stuff. And for financial gain, she always has that
PayPal me. PayPal me.
Yeah, running, and it's the same story over and over, except she adds little details. What was it last night they were talking about? And saying
Last night was truly shocking when her sister appeared on
That
Gavel
was
Geeks
yes.
and outed the fact that Jodysue had told everyone that she did not find out about her brother's sudden illness and death because people on YouTube were messing up her phone situation. And then she couldn't go to the funeral because people were hounding her in public. Last night, her sister Amy came onto YouTube. Her sister has had quite a different experience in life. She's travelled, she's college educated, she's an ICU nurse, she's married, she's made a great success of her life, and she's wanted to be kept out of this situation completely. But as she said, that choice was taken out of her hands when people started putting her photographs in Facebook groups about Summer Wells. And indeed, one of the channels on YouTube, Justice for All, did actually put her wedding photos on his channel, which fair enough, it was investigative journalism and he found it in a public place. But she didn't want that to happen to her. And last night she actually came up on a panel, and to the shock of everybody who was on the panel and who was listening, it was revealed that not only was Jodysue there when her brother passed, he had meningitis. He'd been a healthy person, got meningitis. So his illness and death was sudden, but not so sudden that people couldn't get to the hospital. Jodysue was right there next to her sister with all the rest of the family as he passed. So that was a lie. And even worse than that, not only did she lie to people on YouTube that she couldn't go to the funeral because of being hounded in public, she went to the funeral, and she went to the funeral mostly in order to stop her ex-partner Andy being a pallbearer. He was sufficiently close to the family that he'd actually been asked to be a pallbearer for her brother's body, take part in the ceremony, and Jodysue created such a fuss. She went to the funeral and he couldn't go.
Because of the
And she
PO.
still came on YouTube and lied and said that
And
people on
lied.
YouTube had stopped her going to the funeral. And if you can lie about your brother's death, if you can
will
lie
lie
about a
about
family
anything.
funeral, what won't you lie about?
You will lie about anything. You know,
was
I didn't even catch
disgusted.
that part, Pearl. I did
Absolutely
not.
disgusted.
Yeah.
I'm
it
so
was-
glad you broke that down. The only part I caught was what Lippy had clipped of where the sister did come on. And the sister did explain that Jodysue probably doesn't know half as much as she lets on about this Summer Wells case, that she has just got herself wrapped up for attention.
Right.
So that part right there that I didn't even hear is even more shocking about the brother's death, funeral, the reason why she came to stop Andy from being a pallbearer. Wow.
Essentially,
And-
yes. By taking
that-
part in the funeral, she made it so that it was impossible for the family to also include him as a pallbearer. And in fact, in the obituary, he's actually named as an honorary pallbearer, which means that the family was still trying to recognise him as being an important part of their family, without
Right.
the fact that he could actually be there and do the job.
The family is still Jodysue's
family's still
family
close
is
to
still
him.
very close to her. She speaks to Andy. She doesn't speak to Jody.
I don't blame her. Wow.
Right.
So that's very telling right there, that
It is.
the things that Jody Sue Brown, and I've often said I don't know what to think about Andy, you know, but the
Right.
fact that the family is still trying to maintain a relationship with him, I don't know.
But
that
not
kind
her.
Of right.
Right?
I
Very
don't
telling.
think that Andy is
She
100%
also-
truthful. I think he's a bit sketchy. But I
Right.
don't. He does it
Jody-
obviously because he's done things that he wants to cover up, which are not necessarily major things or
Right.
even concerned with Summer, but are things that he doesn't want to say in case he gets the police on his case.
Right.
But by being a bit
Jody's-
sketchy, he makes everything sound sketchy.
Right.
But I don't think he's as bad as she's painted him. There's no possible
No.
way.
No, I don't either. I think that she has taken the whole opportunity, a year, and has tried to make everyone believe that he is a complete monster, when really, it sounds like a lot of projection. It seems like she's maybe the monster.
Oh, absolutely. She's a monster. What the hell did she say last night about how he had her at gunpoint and beat her while she was naked in front of a school bus full of children?
That's what she
Oh,
claimed.
man. She's really reaching with these stories now. She's running out of things to say.
Yeah, and that whole thing, Lee Frosty, when they put her up in a hotel because she was so fearful for her life, and then she acted like a complete prima donna the whole time.
And then doxed the woman and harassed them. Crazy. Are you serious? She doxed the woman who put her up.
She did. Ginger Snap, I believe.
wow.
Yeah, it was Ginger Snap.
Jody Sue also said that she was raised by her pap, right? She
Yeah,
said
that
that
he
over and over again.
kidnapped
She
and
was
he
not.
controlled her.
She was not. The sister was, but Jody was not.
So it sounds like Jody Sue takes a bit of
She takes
everybody's
other people's
life
stories and
Yes.
makes it hers.
and
Yes.
incorporates it into hers. And that is a very dangerous person right there that we're dealing with. And you people that support her, I think you might want to reconsider who you're supporting.
What she does is she draws in people that, identify with this. I don't know if you've already said this. Sorry, my internet decided to fail. But I don't know if you discussed this already, but it seems like what she does is she draws in people that sympathize with the same things or have gone through the same things that she have gone through, which is just preying on people's emotions, and preying on their own traumas and their own life experiences in order to have them basically like support her and financially support her.
And what a great group. I mean, here on the internet, speaking of scammers and grifters, she has found vulnerable women who may have been abused and been through some horrible things. And she draws them in with these stories and has them exactly where she wants them.
Are we positive that she is not a victim of domestic abuse? I
think she is.
I think she
I
is.
believe she
The
is.
sister and Andy last night
also
both
believe-
said
I believe
that there had
she's
been
also
domestic abuse.
Okay.
an abuser.
Yeah, Andy's admitted to it. He's admitted that he hit her.
Andy has
I can
admitted
see
that his
it
sister
from
several times.
Yeah.
But Andy
So that's
also
not
said
something
that she
she's
hit
taking.
him with the Volkswagen. So
Oh, yeah.
there's abuse on both sides.
I mean, one of the things that impressed me most about the sister was that she wasn't out to slam Jodysue in every single way. When a suggestion was made about, you remember the Facebook post about the clan meeting? And they were asking sort of like, so this isn't very clear. Is Jodysue a racist? Does she support the clan? Her sister was in there straight away, and so was Andy, making it very clear that Jodysue supported Black Lives Matter. They weren't going to let that stand.
Good.
And I
That's
thought, well,
good.
I respect you more for the fact that you were willing to say, oh, no, hang on.
Right. When they could have ran with that and made it
They
work.
could have done, yeah.
If they wanted to lie. Right.
Yeah. But they
There was
didn't,
one
so-
quote that I actually wrote down because the sister Amy was quite a controlled person. She wasn't over emotional or over dramatic in any way. The complete antithesis of Jody Sue. Until there was one quote where she really did sort of lose her rag a bit. This is the quote word for word. There is no fibre of my fucking being that ever believes that he ever touched his children or hurt his children in any fucking way. Not one fibre of my fucking being. Nope. From a not dramatic person. She won't have it. She will not have it with Jody Sue saying that he's abused those kids.
Good for her for speaking up like that.
It was really telling because it was so out of keeping with the emotional level of everything else that she said.
Yeah, because she did seem to have a level of emotional intelligence about her when I did hear her speak.
Yeah.
So for her to get that way about that topic is very telling to me.
But on the other hand, not to say that she's not telling the absolute truth. On the other hand, there are some things that trigger people and they don't want to believe that things like that happen. You know what I mean?
True. That's true.
And
yeah, we'll never know their whole story, Jody's and Andy's and the children. That is for sure.
We won't know
It's not even
until
for
one of the
YouTube
children
to
comes speak
decide.
out.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
That's the thing that I have a big problem with is I will always believe the survivor, you know, if
Right.
somebody says that they've been.
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, I was very pro Amber Heard right up until I heard every day of the trial, and then my
Right.
mind was blown.
Right.
But,
Right.
YouTube is
my initial response was to believe what she said, believe that the original English court case where it was a libel situation, but she gave evidence.
Mhm.
And then I heard the recordings of her, and
Right.
yeah, that was a whole different thing.
So that's real. Okay. Well, I'm not part of the Johnny Depp thing because I really didn't pay attention to it. I definitely don't believe her, you know, now. But like I was saying, I always have a tendency to immediately believe the survivor, you know.
Yes.
But YouTube
Right.
has kind of but that's in real life. In YouTube life, now
Right.
I learned to really question everything, which upsets
Well,
me.
yes. Always question
I
everything.
am a skeptic at heart.
Yeah.
In real
YouTube is
life,
a
too?
baptism of fire for people who tend to believe people on face value, because
Right,
you will
right.
just have your heart broken.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
True
that
crime
happens a
is
lot.
about, to me, is about taking what
Criminals.
somebody says and asking, really?
Yeah. But I guess for me in real life, I don't find that I associate necessarily with people that I automatically have a a bad gut feeling about. We don't know these people on YouTube, so yeah.
Also, I will say that men often get an unfair shake because they can automatically be looked at as, well, he's a man, of course he did it, of
Yep.
course. So that's something that kind of bothers me too, because men need that same amount of support, and
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's harder for them to come forward on
it
certain
is. Yeah.
abuse topics. Jen Hoffa says, believe all victims until you're given a reason not to. What was the reason that people started to not believe Jody Sue and the things that she was saying?
Because
think
she'd be
all
dead.
right.
She'd be dead.
Yeah,
If he came in and beat her to the extent that she says that he beat her on a regular basis like that, she would not be alive.
No,
She
Her
just
she wouldn't
timeline-
even have a limb.
Her timeline not matching up with what she was saying, her hearing shapes.
so many lies.
So
Just too many-
it.
too
What
many
was
lies.
Was it the stuff about, like, what Pearl just said was that, you know, she'd be dead if she had suffered that abuse, and that your indication that she was lying, or was it that her timeline about the Summer case wasn't adding up and that made you question everything?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of
I think
It
it
was a
combination
for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially
I-
the stories of abuse.
I had to question what was her motivation when I started to question the timeline, and what was her motivation for coming forward, and what was her motivation about. I think the biggest thing for me was when I found out that she wasn't fleeing for her life, but was indeed evicted off that property,
Right.
and that then had used all of these creators that were trying to help her because
She had them
genuinely
working for her.
believed
And get the hotel
that she
room
needed to
backstory?
emergency escape,
Uh-huh.
when really she was like, yeah, I gotta go and I need a place to go. You know, that was the truth. Not Andy wasn't there. She wasn't escaping. Andy wasn't even on the property, but she made us think that she was in imminent danger.
Was
And-
that right after the fundraiser? Did Scott H come out with that? I feel like I remember that from like way long time ago.
We figured out that she was evicted because she conveniently left out that part where they had her evicted off of the property. And
Yeah, wasn't there a time when she was trying to flee and they had gotten her a hotel room, but she didn't maybe go to that hotel room or something? And
I had to keep switching them up.
I see. Yeah, that would definitely spark some.
Also, some of the things that made me question her was her behavior and this was later on, is when Andy eventually came on YouTube, and her behavior then as well. She didn't seem to me as a woman that was scared for her life. She seemed more as a woman scorned, even going
He's
as far
wearing
as
my shirt on a
Right.
holiday.
He's
yeah,
wearing
pulling out the lingerie.
Narcopathic 101.
Right.
And it wasn't it right after he came up on YouTube and was talking that she came out with the story of Andy touching kids and
Yes.
and the drug
The
stuff.
first time, yes.
That's interesting. So she was quite triggered, and that was like a retaliative mood, possibly.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was
Very
trying to shut
triggered.
him up.
Yes. Yes.
She-
She did seem like she was very triggered, and everything after that was done out of retaliation. I mean, the woman
Vindictive.
even went and got her some lingerie, put that on, some lip gloss. Well, I mean, it was a whole mess. I'm like, this is not this woman. If she is that scared for her life, why is she dressed up like he's going to come by and say, I've changed my mind, Jody Sue?
Yeah.
Mhm. And why, if she's so if she is so upset by him and so terrified by him, does she watch when he's live and hang on every word he says?
Right.
There's the real reason to me, my opinion is that she's worried about all her lies unraveling as
That's
they have
what
begun
came
to do.
out to me. Yes.
That makes
Liza,
sense.
Yes.
Can
She
I ask
was
you this?
then shook because it was like, oh my God, I've been talking about him for a whole year. He hasn't been on here. Now
She silenced
here
him
he
with that
is.
PO.
Right. Now he's talking. He's got a bunch of people in chat supporting him, a new girlfriend, and she was shook. She was truly shook.
I was shocked to see him because of the things that Jody Sue had been saying, to see how like kind of soft spoken to an extent. This was not Voldemort that I saw.
Right. It wasn't at all.
No.
I didn't see a
Didn't look
monster.
like a monster.
Not to me, but
He had on lady sunglasses.
But what do
for crying out loud.
they really look like though? I mean, do they really?
That's
look
what I
like
was gonna
they
say.
don't?
Right.
That's exactly what I was going to say is he didn't look like a monster. He didn't come off as a Voldemort, like a monster or like this evil demon character. However, a lot of times those evil demon characters are really good at convincing you that they're not,
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, fair point.
Yeah, well, look at the shit that we see on YouTube. People like to put on this facade that they're great people, and underneath it all, they're shady as fuck.
Yep.
A lot
I'm
of
always
that.
a little bit
Amen.
suspicious of the nice guy.
It is just disappointing, right?
It's very disappointing, and it makes me like question the people who come off as the nicest of the nice are usually the ones who are the shadiest of the shady.
Yeah. That's why the other you come off more. I don't know. I like someone more direct and forward than hey. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's okay if you're nice. There's nothing wrong with that. But
on the other hand, we are all multifaceted people.
This
Like
is true.
we all have a good side that is so kind and sweet, and we all have a gnarly side,
Yeah.
But some people's gnarly side is way better or way worse than other people's gnarly
Right.
side. It's
think as
really
well
hard
as-
to differentiate. It really is on YouTube.
As far as the Summer Wells case goes, one of the issues that I found difficult with Jody Sue was realizing that at the first stage where Summer was missing, that she'd been on Facebook and she'd been saying that Summer was loved and cared for and the parents weren't responsible. And yet on YouTube, it was exactly the opposite.
Exactly
And I
the
just thought,
opposite.
well,
It was all about
Pick your
the
story, Jody Sue. Pick
Then
your
suddenly
story.
they're sedating her so she can be touched.
Eesh.
You
And
can't.
then
It
she
can't.
came out with
It
that
can't be both.
story. That story was particularly alarming when she came out with the one about Andy providing
Sedative.
sedative for the minors, or to give to the parents to give to the minors. That one really was like, what?
I
Where
think that
was-
was the turning point for everybody to
Yes,
be like,
it was.
excuse me,
Yeah.
what? Like that was the record scratch, like
Yeah. It sure was.
The part
I'm
of it,
gonna
the
say I
breath.
had her number long before that.
You did. What
Oh,
what
yeah.
was it about her that made you question it?
The scream unfounded,
The
and
same with me. Yep.
the some of that stuff, the dog stopping at her feet,
Yes, the dogs, mate. The dogs was one of the things that set me off.
the
Also, the
cameras
shout
not
being
working
a shout.
just on that day. There was so many things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it kind of stacks up, and you know, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, damn
Right.
thing's probably a duck.
But on the other hand, I can see, I guess it's not the other hand. I can see why people were so interested in her story, because prior to Jose, prior to those guys finding Jose, she was the only other person we were hearing from that had ever really met Summer,
Right.
Don, and Candace.
But she didn't paint us a picture of Summer, did
She
she?
didn't. No, she didn't.
She
She
did
Oh, I
not.
don't think we really even
The
knew.
only one that painted a picture of Summer for me
Was
was
Jose.
Jose. Yeah.
Me
Yes.
too.
Like, twirl.
Even her parents didn't do that for her.
All
guess-
we got from them is she loved to twirl.
Yeah. Even Hunter
Robin?
and his family couldn't paint us a picture of what Summer was like. But Jose
Yeah,
did that.
Robin did to a point. What?
Nah.
Yeah.
But not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
Not really.
But not really. Yeah, to a point, but not really. Like I said, Jose was really the only one that came on and gave us an idea
He kind of
of
told
her
us about
personality.
right
Mhm.
her stinker personality and then her loving, adventurous personality too. You know, it was kind of more of a the full picture.
Yeah.
To me, Robin was more concerned with her own self-image, and that's just my personal opinion.
Yes, very much.
Robin
That's kind
was
of the
full on PR for
impression
the
I
church.
felt. Yes,
She was going to bat for the church. Is that
Mhm.
basically what you just said? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
That's
she
what
was
I
just a
It was
PR
all about the
representative for the church.
for her.
Yeah.
It's almost like, to me, a
Silent.
cult. You know, I've got to defend this cult. I'm not calling it that. I'm just saying it's almost like I have to defend this because that's what I have been programmed to do.
Mm-hmm.
but we've kind
Yeah,
of gotten off track with our
Yeah.
scammers.
Can I ask you guys one more question about Jody Sue? I know I have my own opinions, but why do you think Jody Sue came to YouTube? Because if you remember, see, a lot of people will say it's for attention, you know.
Nanny's out.
However, but she used to go live on Facebook with nobody watching for a long time, right?
I think she realized with the transition over to YouTube, she could get monetization, Cash App, PayPal. So then in comes the grifting or scamming people.
I
Okay.
feel like it's more than that, though. Just my observation, my opinion only. But Jody Sue, when she goes live, not when she goes live like pissed off when Andy's on and she's off the cuff, because that's kind of when you see the real Jody
That's true.
Sue.
Yeah.
But
The
the
mask
other
off.
times, the other times it's like as if she is playing a character. Jody's this legend in her own mind.
Yeah.
Camper
She's
Van
got all
Blanche
these
Dubois.
facials, and it's almost like she's kind of pre-planned a couple of little catchy little things that she wants to get in there, and she's just, to me,
Well,
a
that's
very
what
strange character.
Weird.
But I
Grift
think
is
that
all about.
she wants, she enjoys the attention. If she
Even if
didn't,
it's negative.
if she didn't at this point, she's told us whatever she's going to tell us about Summer, correct? And about her being the neighbor of Summer Wells and all of that. Anything else, she's like, she talks to the feds and blah, blah. If that's the case, what is she still doing here if her only motivation
Is
was to
Summer.
help Summer?
It wasn't.
She's
wasn't.
not, there's no more information that she's giving, and she's tears YouTube creators down every chance she gets. She's got an odd nickname for every single one of them.
Oh, but
then
this
she
Why
just
is she
bullying.
still here? If you
Right.
were so scared and frightened for your life, why are you being so public? Wouldn't it be easier?
And
to-
everybody knows where she lives, too.
She could go anywhere else, but there's
She
something
stays
about
right here.
Jody
Okay.
Sue likes being portrayed as a victim, in my opinion.
Mine
Mhm.
too.
I agree with that.
but that makes her the center of attention. And if that is the case, then she's done a really good job because
She's done excellent. She has done
center of
excellent.
attention. Nobody
She has
really
worked it.
Yeah, people aren't talking about Summer necessarily. They're talking about, there are weeks and weeks of lives like basically trying to bunk Jody Sue's words. Like, this is the Jody Sue show now. This is the Jody Sue community,
Yes.
whether you're pro or negative Jody
Exactly.
Sue.
Jody Sue's
has done
hoping
it
for
well.
her spot in the Netflix special.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There's not going to
Have
be
you
any-
noticed that she now films in that sort of black and white sort of Hollywood filter, like
Noir?
an old film?
noir?
It's just like it's Sunset Boulevard.
Yes.
I'm still the Hollow Bunny. I'm
This is
still
a new
dramatic.
thing,
It's
yeah.
just the drama that got small.
Okay, so here's something that I want to ask you guys too. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking a lot. Tell me, you can mute me, sometimes. But isn't that the case for all YouTubers though? It starts off on one foot, but then it turns to be kind of about them. Does that make all YouTubers scammers the minute that they figure out that they can make money? Because it seems to me that, Jody was going live on her Facebook. Nobody's watching. It's like, no one's really paying attention to it that much. She comes to YouTube. She's doing this wish list thing. She's, having people are PayPaling her money or Cash Apping her money, whatever it may be. So then she makes a channel and it becomes monetized. Is that kind of what happens with YouTubers in general? They come to YouTube to
No,
talk.
I don't think it does,
No.
because what makes Jody Sue a scammer,
Okay.
in the light of what her sister said last night, is that Jody Sue is taking cash apps and raising money to have services done to this sort of wooden building that she wants to place on the land that she inherited from her grandfather, except she doesn't actually own any land. Her sister said last night Jody Sue was not left any land. So where is this mythical hut going to be?
So
and her
the
sister
money that
said
she's
she
getting
thinks
from
that the building's been repossessed as well. So
Yes. So
she's getting money out. She's created a story as and portrayed being a victim, and basically her grift or her scam is basically like,
you can
rise
save
the
me.
phoenix from the ashes.
a big victim.
She's telling a story to make money. It's kind of gross.
And she's drug her daughter along in the way on it. And
Yeah, let's not forget that. That's actually the saddest part, is her daughter that has to sit in that tin can with her and hear all the negative things that she goes on and on about her own father.
she chokes on 3 packs of secondhand smoke.
Skylar said it's not about making money. It's about what they're asking for and how they're asking for it. Is that the scam, or is it the, well, I guess, never mind. I guess I agree with you, Skylar. I do. It's not necessarily about making the money. It's how they're asking for it and what they're asking for it for. Is it truth or is it lies? Is that kind of what you're trying to say?
Yeah,
It's the fake hardship story that really gets to me, because
The
there
playing
are
on
people who genuinely need help.
Uh-huh.
But there's an awful lot of people who are willing to twist your emotions. I mean,
But
look
I
at
have
the
no problem
dog
giving
scam.
money
Oh,
to
no, I
a
don't.
creator that comes out and tells me, they're just entertaining me and tells me that everything they're saying is fictitious, or, take Dolly Vision, for example, where he's joking around. You clearly know it's jokes, that it's not true. That's different.
There's no
From
Turtle
somebody
Island.
that's coming out and telling you that this is absolutely true and it's not. That's where I see the difference in creators.
Yeah, I've
These
seen
scammers
from
will
Jody
seem to
Sue.
break into a moment that they will take any opportunity. I mean, the greatest example being when everybody was concerned about the dogs that were left over at Ben Hill Road. And somebody said, I'll go and get them now. And people were throwing money at her, saying, yes, get them to the vets, get them treated,
Right?
look after them.
Kylie.
Food, toys, yes. The dog scammer, who was also got previous anyway, but she didn't miss a beat, did she? She saw the opportunity and she was in there and gone.
Except she wasn't smart about it because she couldn't be bothered to change her photo on Cash App. That's
where she slipped up.
Yep, the whole thing was blown apart. She went in, and I think it was Justin's chat, and she's like, "Oh, I'm here now. I believe it was Yennefer who went when somebody, I think it was JLR, said that one of the dogs was deceased and laying on the side of the road. Yennefer drove there to bury this dog, and then Kylie saw that and was like, I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to say I picked these dogs up. They're pooping out worms. I need money to take them to the vet. And she was sending pictures of her own dogs as these dogs, and her own, the picture, it matched up with one that was on a known scammer's Cash App profile. Like she wasn't,
Ziggy caught on that those dogs that she was showing didn't look like the dogs that Ziggy had seen up on the hill.
Right.
She's not too good at it.
She has one. She would know what they look like, and she had no freaking qualms about it. But she was a long-term scammer in the community.
Ziggy do have morphed from more than that picture, because it turned out that she'd scammed Ziggy.
Yeah.
She was the mythical, somebody has come to me from Six Ups chat and they want me to send some stuff to you, but I'm coming to you first so that you know the truth.
It was the same.
By the way, I was only going to do it because I was desperate for money for my medication.
Wow.
Beg.
Skylar said it's a confidence scam, mostly asking behind the scenes. If people want to donate, it's one thing, but using fake stories or hardship, that's wrong. So that is interesting to me because do you guys consider people to be scammers if they're just outwardly asking for money, not necessarily making up a story behind it, but, if you like what I'm doing,
here's the thing. I've seen plenty of creators. They get on their channel, they give you a show. You might see their Cash App go across. If you like their content and you want to Cash App them, that's fine. As long as they're not giving you a fake sob story.
Yes.
The Cash App is up there because
it's like jar doesn't bother me.
Right.
Like Molly Golightly has that, and she can be super entertaining. You know what I mean? But I don't see her oftentimes pulling this thing where she's maybe she doesn't have hardships, though. I don't really know. But you know what I mean? She's not asking for money for a specific thing or basically guilting you or making you feel bad, pulling at your heartstrings, playing on your emotions.
Guys, I can't pay my electric bill. I don't know what I'm going to do. Blah, blah, blah. Yes.
I need gas.
When I hear stuff like that, that gives me cause for concern. Like, okay, I think I see what's going on here. Somebody putting on a good show. They got their Cash App up. You want to hit it.
I got no problem tipping the host.
Right.
No, there's a fine line between the whole grifting and scamming. When somebody has their Cash App visible, I mean, that's what a lot of creators do. This whole going behind the scenes and asking people for money, if it's for something legitimate and I just lost that one comment, and they're using the money for what they say they're using it for, then no, it's not a scam. Skylar brings up something interesting here. I think a lot of these people, they hide behind other creators and they want other channels to fight their battles for them and to get them out of stuff. Bombshell.
There we go.
He came in and rode on the coattails of Tiffany Marie, created her
whoever Tiffany Marie.
But this wasn't her. This was not her first.
No,
this was not her first scam. She had done this in another community before she came over. But she knew
exactly what to do and how to do it here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but she came in, she made this channel to be Tiffany's guard dog or attack dog. Target specific people. And I'm sad that people were scammed by her, but it's the same people who cheered that on.
Yeah.
Right.
That he ended up targeting and scammed them out of a lot of money. I guess she was going from person to person.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, right? Behind the scenes, private messaging people. I need money for rent. and there's nobody to help me. And this is
She
where
got her rent paid like what, 3 times?
this is where it becomes a scam. I don't think somebody going to somebody that they know and they trust and saying, hey, can you please help me out? I'm in a bind. I'm getting evicted. I need my rent paid. Nobody is helping me.
If it's true, though. It has to be true.
Yes, if she had gone to one person, gotten bailed out, fine. But she went to 6 different people, or more than 6 different people with the same story, and nobody knows if the rent was even paid or what the hell she spent that money on.
Yep. The key to me and what you're saying is, you know, we see this time and time again. It's the or more people, the or more part of it. A lot of people will not come forward because it is embarrassing.
It's humiliating.
Yeah. And you feel like an idiot, you know? So I think that's some, I know I've heard Just the Receipt say this oftentimes, like close your wallets, you know, but also there is strength. It is empowering to come forward, even though it's embarrassing. You may be helping somebody else, and that vulnerability that you're showing, it's not necessarily a negative thing. You know, it's just, in my opinion, it's a brave, strong thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But,
and the whole close your wallet thing. I mean, yeah, as far as giving hundreds and thousands, I mean, we've seen ridiculous amounts of money thrown around on here. Yeah. But if you want to tip 10, 5, whatever it is to the Cash App because you're enjoying the content, the actual content, that's fine. But yeah.
I wouldn't say close your wallet. I would say get informed and trust your gut.
That's a better way.
Oftentimes, you know in your heart that there's something a bit that doesn't smell right. Follow your gut. If you have any doubts at all, say no.
But
no is a complete sentence. You don't need to explain yourself. No is sufficient.
100%.
To do it.
Yeah. But
no is a complete sentence. It's the biggest thing that people can take from this.
Sometimes these people are really, really, really convincing.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, going back to Bombshell, to me, she wasn't convincing. She came in and saw right through her. This was a woman who was like, I'm here. I love Tiffany Marie. Whoever she loves, I love. Whoever she hates, I hate. Also, whoever Tiffany Marie has got a problem with at that time, I'm going to have a problem with. I'm going to go for them. And people are going, because there's a lot of people that are gunning for them too. So here comes all these followers, subscribers, and they're like, you know what? I don't like this person either. Let me give you some money. I don't know. To me, her game was played out, but people did fall for it.
I think they'll need, well, anyway, I was going to say something, but I'm going to
say it.
But isn't that how maybe she's on a platform doing that, but she is looking for money. But what you're talking about, people gunning for people, that's subscribers in general. We see it all the time, you know?
Yeah. And she played the game.
Loyalty.
She played the game. Well, what happened is she got them all in her little circle too, to where then she could go, you know, once she had them where she wanted them, then go behind the scenes and be like, hey, friend.
Well,
and they go after the generous subscribers and message them in Discord. That's a different level than a creator up there saying, hey, look, this is what's going on, you know, blah, blah, blah. Out in the open is a little different than behind closed passwords and whatnot, you know.
Right. Does that make them a scammer or a grifter?
Because Lolita has a description for you.
Yeah, I would classify that definitely as scamming behavior, obtaining money under false pretenses. And Skylar, yes, I have gotten so many requests in just the past 4 days to look into the shorty scam situation. I was having a very hard time because the receipts provided, it was very hard to follow.
We need to see the victims.
Would not understand. purple reading anything is
God, it's a
Yes.
fucking headache.
I had a screenshot screen, try to blow it up. It definitely, no question about it, it was a scam. The woman scammed people. There's also people saying that people are afraid to come forward because they don't want to be bullied by the channel supporters. And because what people like to do is, instead of just fighting their own fights, they like to involve other channels.
Flying monkeys.
Flying monkeys, exactly.
My problem with all of this, though, is that there is very few receipts on this. I mean, Shorty came out and said what she did.
Yeah.
She said what she did, but like these allegations keep getting higher and higher, and there isn't receipt. It's like the game of telephone. And
well, the
so that's my whole thing is I want to see. I want to hear from the victims, and were they victimized? You know,
were they actually?
What are their feelings about this? What were they asking for the money for? And
we have one in chat.
Yeah. What were they asking the money for? What were they told? And was there supposed to be repayment?
That's something I like to know. Was there supposed to be repayment?
Because if you gave it, you gave it.
But what if you gave it and it was not for what it was supposed to be for?
That's like, what it
That's what I'm saying. And now Shorty did come out and say that she asked people
Okay, Jen Hawk is wanting us to read chat.
To pay rent, and then used it to pay child support that she was arrears on, and she was embarrassed and didn't want people to know that.
Shorty came out and said that.
Oh yeah, I have.
Yes, Shorty came out and said that.
I have her video here that I'll play in a minute.
Yeah. She seemed like, from what I saw, she came out and said.
Okay, so if it was borrowed, was it borrowed from the same person? Because that's another question I have, not just about Shorty, but in any of these situations where borrowed is used. And if you let somebody borrow money from you and they don't pay it back, and then they come to you and ask you to borrow more money, stop it. What are you doing? Don't keep loaning money that isn't being repaid, and then that to me makes you a victim of your own naivety, for lack of being a nicer word.
I'm going to disagree with you on that, because these people that do that and know how to play the game, there's a difference between somebody that's asking someone to borrow money and it's the truth. If someone's asking to borrow money under false pretenses, regardless of whether it's meant to be paid back or whatever, they can really do a job on you where they can bring you into the chaos and make it this giant, hurricane storm. You lose track. You just want to make the person feel better. You just want to
feel almost like an obligation, like, oh my God, I'm going to feel bad if I don't. I can see both sides. I really can.
So I can't necessarily say that it's that person's fault. It really has to do with who's asking for it and how they're asking for it, what they've brought you into emotionally. To me, I think the scam has to do with the emotional, the exploitation, basically, of a person's emotions and their hardships and where they've come from, their own traumas,
I don't play Captain Save-A-Ho around here because I'm not trying to catch anything.
The combination of that and the combination of, what was the money used for what it was asked to be used for? My big question about the Shorty thing, and I've heard your questions as well, is are the people that gave the money after she came forward and said it was for child support rather than for, eviction or whatever it may be? Or
I don't think she said eviction. It was just about rent.
Okay.
Yeah, the landlord showed the landlord money. And
were those people that gave her the money under those false pretenses upset and wanting their money back?
That's a good question.
That's what I want to know. That's my question as well.
Now, we're hearing from people that there are people who are upset, but they're too afraid to come out because they don't want to be harassed by this person's supporters.
I
and
guess I'm skeptical without receipts. Like text messages that show this, because I can show you Cash App. I can show you, it doesn't
Christy
mean it was
said,
scam.
Christy said she borrowed the same amount for a number of people for the same thing. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she said that.
Okay.
She said that.
All right.
In her
Yeah.
confessional video, she outright says, I used it, I bought clothes, I bought cigarettes,
and child support,
and
right?
her she owed arrearages back child support that she paid off with it. It didn't go for rent or whatever. So that
Georgia, it's a lady named Shorty. We're not that familiar with her, but we have heard, some of the stories.
I've never heard of this person, and I've had so many emails in just the last couple days from different people.
I've just heard.
Who is this person? What happened? Where am I finding these, the receipts? And that was in itself a big.
Can I ask? It sounds like there are three groups of people. What it sounds like there's three groups. One being the people that are upset about it.
There's no proof of that, Chris.
And then the second group would be people that gave the money and are not upset. And the third group would be people that gave the money but are afraid to speak up about it. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it to me. Yeah.
The food stamp thing is, it just says in a text message, I will go exchange the food stamps. Does that mean
how do you do food stamps on how would you even do that on the internet?
It's not on the internet. It wouldn't be on the internet. She would do it in person to get the cash and then use that to pay the person back if that's what she was going to do.
Gotcha.
But there's no proof that she sold food stamps. I don't care what was said in the text that she was going to, but to keep saying that somebody sold food stamps, if she didn't sell them to you, I just don't think that that's something that should keep being passed around the internet.
The message says, this was her typing to somebody, I went to give the landlord the money. This fucking asshole was like, okay, thank you, but don't forget you owe $52. So being I didn't have that, he said, they will go to court to file. I told him, go ahead, asshole. I had a big blowout, but before he goes tomorrow, I will go exchange the food stamps. I told him to chill. I will in the morning. I'm not going to stress anymore over little stuff. I'm not doing it myself. What an asshole. I got this. Fuck them. Sorry to vent to you, love.
Was all of that a lie then about talking to the landlord? Or was any of that true? I'm just asking.
No clue.
We don't know.
Okay.
Interesting.
Then it has to be said, there are people like Georgette. Is it Georgette or Georgia? I've missed the name now. Georgette, who gave to Shorty and is not concerned about it at all. Right. So for some people, it's not a problem. And for other people, it is. I don't know which side of the fence to come down on that. But what I will say is that Shorty did at least admit that she had...
Right.
Yeah, right. Luna had brought that up, that she owned it. And there is something a lot more respectable about people that own their shit, because so few around here do it.
Yes, I mean, it doesn't excuse what was done, but it is at least a good start. And Nick,
and she didn't ask for
look at Brad. Look at Brad Wishon, Chase.
And then it's a matter of, are they changing the behavior or not?
Until the moment that he dies, that he did nothing wrong, and everybody else is wrong. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have any court dates for ripping off thousands of people, thousands of pounds, dollars from an old man. He didn't scam about billboards. He will lie until the very end.
But that sounds more like a personality flaw than.
Oh, it definitely is. But, It definitely is. But the people, nevertheless, were scammed just as much. It doesn't matter whether he's got a psychological issue,
right?
Whether Shorty's got an actual need. We're both talking about situations where money was taken under
false pretenses,
and one person has owned up to it. And now it's going to be a matter of what they decide to do about it. And the other person...
The offer was made to make anybody that felt victimized whole. They just needed to let Vintage know, and Vintage was going to straighten it out. So
that always backfires. Remember during the fundraising thing when people came forward to ask for their money back? Those people got attacked so hard. I even heard the other day someone talking about it, another creator talking about somebody asking for their money back. So I can understand why people might have fear in coming forward, and even if they are upset about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hakuna
possibly,
said,
but we're also projecting something on there that we know nothing about.
That's absolutely
yes, that's true.
That's true.
Can I just say, Jennifer's comment is something that I would agree with. She said she apologised for dragging her friends into it mostly. I did feel that there was quite a lot of that in Shorty's apology, that
Yeah, I did
she
too.
was very concerned that she'd hurt people that she loved more than that she'd hurt people that she owed money to. I do think she's sorry, but I'm not sure whether she's sorry enough or for the right reasons. I hope she can sort herself out and that she can come to some sort of resolution with the people who do feel that they deserve to have the money back.
Right.
I hope it doesn't go to a legal situation, but if people feel that it needs to, then that's the way it will go.
That's yeah.
But
that's true. Frosty, that is true. The only person who can make amends is the wrongdoer. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see in time, and maybe we will never see in time if she does it again. You know, like Hakuna says, she owned it. That's more than most do. I'll agree with you. That is way more than most
the
do.
behavior change.
I
But
see Chris
Shorty isn't a
saying
bad
something
person,
about Buddy not bringing it to light. She'd still be doing it. What about Buddy scams? We don't want to go there.
I don't know, Buddy.
Buddy's not exactly got the cleanest hands himself, has he?
No, he does.
Going
No,
around.
he does not.
I've seen enough people talking about his financial situation, which, again, I don't know what's true and what isn't, because there are so many versions of this story going around.
Oh, yeah, the daughter.
But he might want to, you know, take care of his own backyard.
He did that to manipulate his daughter, and I don't even want to go there because that's
that seems more like a personal
so disgusting.
thing.
Yeah.
So the people that are calling out this creator aren't very credible themselves. Is that what you're saying?
And
some of
what
them
started it?
Cool.
What started it? I'm not saying that the people that are saying that it happened to them aren't credible. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what started all of this started from somebody not very credible.
Well, the whole thing, to me, if you want my opinion on it, it's fabricated drama for channel wars.
Yes,
people
that's exactly what blew it up.
And also, I would like to make the announcement to everybody: if you're sending something to Circle Jerk, do not involve us in your bullshit. Get your own hands dirty. Take care of it yourself, because we're not picking anybody's side. We're not dragging anybody on anybody's behalf. This is
no. I would like to see people. Here's the thing with me. You got something to say? You want something to get off your chest? We can drop a link and we can let you do that.
It feels to me that it's a Purple versus whoever thing. I don't
How did Purple get involved? I don't understand.
Purple
I'll tell you how
always
Purple got involved.
Because this
I'll
guy,
tell you how Purple got involved
with the receipts, and it's just this big clusterfuck of one channel against another channel. Handle your own shit.
Yep, Purple got into Buddy's chat, and people said things that Purple didn't like, but she had made up with Buddy, and so she got her feelings hurt and went to her channel. Buddy went on a rant about his daughter where everybody's like, stop it, in his chat, don't do this. And he walked off, and eventually somebody else shut the stream down, and Purple sat on her channel because she had been watching and said, oh, they can all come over here. You got something to say, come over here.
Yeah, the whole
and that's how Purple got involved.
Did Purple have a beef with Shorty prior to that, or did she just okay?
Yes.
So that's what's interesting then, huh?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. Purple had a beef with Shorty and several people that frequent Shorty's panel.
Are more people that is it people outside of the people that gave money Are those the ones that are more upset than the people that gave money?
I honestly do not know the answer to that question, but I think so. I think Purple's community is more upset than Shorty's community.
Some of the victims are afraid to come out with their receipts because they don't want other channels coming after them. Because you know how it goes. Sometimes they'll follow you into chat. Your moderators will follow you around YouTube. So it's nobody.
That's what started all of this, was Purple worrying about who was in other people's chats. So it's exactly something I could see that they might be concerned about, happening to them. People, you can go wherever you want to go. You should be able to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And if a creator's not letting you do that, think about that for a minute.
Think about that.
Don't let a creator take your voice, your opinion, that's my biggest problem with all of it.
That's mine too. Be yourself. Whatever you want to say, you got to say it. Whoever chats you like this content creator, go in their chat. Don't be held hostage because someone else might see you over there. It's just,
that's easier said than done though in this community.
Not really.
You got to be a big girl and put on the big girl panties and
do it.
And Don't be pushed around.
I do what I want because I'm signed to me. That's
how. But we're all very outspoken people. Not everyone in this community in these chats.
That's what we're advocating, is for people to stand up and speak up for themselves and don't be manipulated. Why? Don't allow.
If you're on the right end of this, then more people are going to have your back than anything else.
What do you think should happen to creators that scam?
Well, it eventually karma gets them. People figure it out.
Yep.
I mean, it all dies down and fall on their ass.
I've seen many a crash and burn.
Yep.
Let the apples fall where they may, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that's being said in the chat by Chris, saying one of the ladies that she scammed had a severely disabled daughter and she herself is disabled. I get really concerned by things like this without wanting to reveal too much. I myself have a complete disability, and whatever is wrong with my body, it doesn't affect my choices or my ability to think through a situation. I just don't like this blanket thing of, if somebody's disabled, therefore they are especially vulnerable to scams. That's not necessarily true.
I have a mental disability. What?
Yes, exactly.
Make choices,
I don't want to see anybody in a situation where they believe that they've been scammed. I don't really like the extra garnish of telling people the personal situation of the person that they feel has been scammed. It's really not material to the fact, I don't think. And if I was scammed, it would be the same whether I was a long distance runner or I was a full-time wheelchair user. The scam is the issue, not the person who's been scammed.
But what if they use the issue that you have to scam you? Like they make up some story about
that they're in the same situation as you and that they need help. Yeah. My immediate go-to would be to say, right, well, do you know that this group and this group and this group can help you? Have you gone through this process? Have you spoken to, your general practitioner? What's the situation in your state or country with disability benefits? I wouldn't immediately hand over money.
Exactly.
Because the knowledge from my own situation would enable me to say to them, these are the ways in which I could help you.
Here are your avenues, right? Yes. Right. And there are plenty of avenues that you can help somebody with, or, point them in that direction. It doesn't.
And in fact, that's what happened with Six Up, wasn't it? When Six Up was asking for financial help for the mythical legal situation, the lady that she approached immediately was trying to help her with saying, well, what are the choices that you have? What's the situation where you are with groups that'll help you for free?
Right. What are you doing?
She didn't want to hear that advice. She didn't want to hear the advice and the recommendations.
No.
She wanted the green.
Right. That tends to be the case I've seen.
Yeah. Yes. And this person was actually giving them good advice on, hey, have you tried this?
Very good advice.
Have you tried that?
Annette's here in chat. She says, as a watcher and a non-creator, I felt powerless and alone, speaking only for myself. But yeah.
I'm really sorry about that, Annette, and especially I'm sorry that this was done to you by somebody who then went on to make you feel so badly about your son's situation.
No, that broke my
That was just really hurtful. And I can imagine that you did feel very alone and that you did feel very upset and you felt very judged because you weren't willing to do what they were asking you to do.
I'm sure
I'm really glad that you came forward. I'm really glad that you feel empowered to speak out. And I hope that you can feel some of the support that people have for you, because I have heard nothing but positive things and concern for you. And I wish that there was some way to capture what I've heard, and be able to post it to you so that you could understand that there's an awful amount of support for you, far more than any of the minor negative things that a couple of people might have said just because they've got personal feelings about that creator. You did absolutely the right thing. You tried to help. You refused to be taken for a ride. I couldn't have more respect for you. I wish you all the best.
Annette, I'm curious as to how Annette feels now as compared to how she felt.
Yes, I'd like to know that.
Right before, Just the Receipts went live, I'm wondering, like, was that so scary for you? I'm sure it was, but then how did you feel afterwards? And how do you feel now? Do you feel scared going into chats? Or, I mean, that's just my question.
She should, and I hope she doesn't.
That night.
Remember, the jerks have your back, Annette.
So many people have your back.
Yeah, that night she came out with that, I could not sleep the entire night because imagining this vulnerable woman who's upset over, her son, her, I guess she
and
saw
then having to hear somebody judge that situation so harshly.
Yeah, and now she's without a community because she just, exposed what was going on and how the people in that community were being taken advantage of. So, like, here you have this vulnerable woman, like, completely alone. Like, I was up till like 6 o'clock in the morning, like, just beside myself.
If a community is making you feel that way, that is not the community for you.
She's actually in the chat talking about the Shorty situation and making a lot of sense, I feel, saying that, the small claims court is the way forward if you really feel.
Oh, is that vintage?
Yes, it is the proper vintage. I've just checked. It is actually the correct one.
It is vintage-wise,
yes.
Annette says she's relieved and she's not scared of being called out.
Good, I'm glad.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah,
Go where you want.
We definitely have your back.
Find your community that you feel safe in. And I say that for everybody. If you're not feeling comfortable in the group you're hanging out with, find a new group. I give that same advice to my 13-year-old.
Yep, it's good advice. I can see how it would be scary though with the flying monkeys. You know what I mean? But it shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter, Ugh.
Over here.
No, we're not weak women.
No.
And none of y'all should be either.
Over here, we advocate for people going where they want.
Be strong.
Yeah, definitely. This isn't like you gotta be, if you're here only. No. You find your community and where you're.
I'll say hi to you when I see you somewhere else too.
Yeah.
You're going to see me all kind of places too.
Do you think that so I haven't seen Six Up address this yet. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you're allowed.
So
we don't have a
PO.
She deliberately has not addressed it. She's talking about everything else.
On mute.
Right. So do you think that she will address it?
No.
Or my thing is it just going to go away if she ignores it?
She's going to try to bury it. And I think that's how she deals with life in general. If she ignores it, just like the protection order, if she ignores it, it'll
if you don't answer the door, it doesn't exist.
Right.
Or she'll do this. She'll turn everything around on you, and you're a bigot, a homophobe, whatever trigger word, buzzword she has.
We're probably
learned.
stalking her.
Yeah.
Maybe she's in active
that's
addiction.
what she does.
You have to remember this is a person with a substantial criminal record
Yes.
who, while a drug addict, has admitted to being quite a good con artist. I don't know what the situation of her sobriety is. I'm not going to make that decision. But what I would say is her behaviour doesn't seem to have changed much. I don't think she's got any
That might
shame
just
about
be
it at
who
all.
she
She
is.
was so barefaced that she even used just the receipt's words back at her because she was so sure that nothing was going to come out. She's used to people feeling threatened
By her.
about sort of taking the case to her. She's used to people backing down, and I think that she thought that was going to happen this time, but she
And it
backed the wrong
didn't.
horse.
Here's
Yeah.
what I'll say is that, you know, when somebody shows you who they are,
Yes.
believe them.
Believe them.
Yep.
Absolutely.
No,
people
we right. Yeah, 6-Up's one of those. She's got a lot of mouth. But she's really not about anything. She's just a lot of mouth. She's done really well at perfecting how to just run her mouth.
She says and says and says a lot of stuff, and then she follows it with right.
Yeah.
That's to get you to buy into what she's selling. But stop and think, is she right? She's not.
No.
So many times she has not been right.
No, and she's not changing anything. She's not changing her direction. People do not change. And when they do, it's over a period of 5 years, 10 years.
Not a few weeks on YouTube.
They just adjust their mask. They get better at the craft. They learn to tell better lies that aren't as easily.
Plus some grunting.
Yeah.
Her grunt is her tail, though. Pay close attention when she grunts. What did she just say?
No, don't make me pay close attention to that.
This is true. Sorry.
Don't worry. She's
That's
on
an
mute.
interesting catch, though. You know, if that's true, if she really does grunt, that's an interesting catch. There are people that do.
Yeah, it's a catch, all right. It's a
It is. We've all noticed it. We talked about it extensively one day.
I remember you guys talking about the grunt, but for me, it's the that. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Oof. Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay. Done with her. Vintage Wise is in here still. All right.
Hey,
We got a lot of
Vintage.
people.
Oh yeah, we have quite a few on the list here. Oh my God, does anybody remember Missing but Not Forgotten?
Oh Lord.
God,
And
what
then we
missing
have-
but not
I
forgotten.
can't
What does
even,
that
like,
sound
it sounds familiar, but I can't even place it now.
I can't either.
Does Trisha ring a bell?
Yes.
Oh
Trisha.
my God! What happened to that lady?
I think she got.
She was forgotten.
Ostracized?
Then she got bounced. They keep deleting every channel she tries to
She was.
come up with.
God, I forgot about her.
And then we have the
That
fake
was-
psychics.
Oh, her grift was for the child's funeral thing, right?
Yes, and then she would
Oh,
write
Was
her
it the
own.
headstone?
She would write her own
The headstone.
troll messages to herself, and then
What?
screenshot it, and then
Are
it
you
would
sure
show
about
at the
that, though?
bottom that she had just put the comment added
Oh.
and wouldn't edit it out. That woman was
Oops.
a mess.
I'm not about to argue with myself. There's enough to do around here.
Mhm.
That's hilarious.
Crafting through the lies. That was
Ugh.
quite.
Yes,
At
that was
first, I
quite
thought
something.
I liked her. I came across her, and she was just ripping and roaring on Ernie Shell. And at the time, I was tired of listening to Ernie Shell. But then that lady just but she slipped off the cracker, man. It just went too far.
Did she ever come back after she found
I
out?
believe she's got another channel.
Really, the nerve.
Who
Yes.
does?
I
Hold on, who
saw
does?
some kind of one video that was like a short video that was posted overlooking
She was trying to explain herself.
some landscape, and her like saying stuff, but I don't know that I've seen anything after that. Does she really have another channel going?
Wait, who are you guys talking about? I'm sorry, I was reading.
Crafting.
Crafting through the eyes.
She collected a lot of money.
Yep.
She did.
Move a mother and her disabled child out of state, and she went and blew all of it.
This
And
was
the
like
one of the
money
reasons
that was being collected from subscribers and viewers, and she was like the holder of it.
I saw that happening. I remember that.
Yeah, and
I'm really sorry to
then
hear
it
that we
all
frosted you up.
disappeared when the woman needed the money to move.
I remember
One of the
her
reasons that crafting was so effective was that she actually came forward and said that for a certain amount of time, any donations made, she would match the same amount because her husband had a very successful business. And that's
then
why
it turned
people were
out she
giving.
wasn't even married.
And he didn't have a business.
Oh,
No,
wow.
She didn't have a husband.
And they weren't living in their own place. It was some sort of rented
So crazy.
government housing situation.
She used to be on TikTok. I remember her talking about that, you know, and she had a ton of subscribers apparently. And then she got booted off of TikTok. I would be curious to find out what she was doing on TikTok. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So she actually got booted on another platform, TikTok.
Yes. I
Wow.
remember her talking about that.
But she definitely was a scammer, right, Lolita?
Or
That's
is she a
scam.
grifter?
What the hell was her name? Crafting, I would say.
She said she had a fundraiser and then she kept the money. Is that not a scam?
Yeah, that would be a scam.
That's a
Yeah,
scam.
because if she was a grifter, she would be on there. Yes, I'm an advocate for children with disabilities, and I'm going to raise money to do whatever. So yeah, I'd say that would be more of a scam than a.
But she kind of did say that. When I think of grifter, I think of way of life, lifestyle. You know, it's their lifestyle. And I think of scam as like a project-based thing.
Oh, you know what? Maybe she's both. She's a grifter who pulled
A
off
grifter and a scammer?
a crazy Yeah, have you
We
guys
got a double
ever seen-
diagnosis?
Dual diagnosis. Have you ever
Double
seen the
scoop.
movie Matchstick Men? I think I was talking with Dee about this last night.
I saw it. It was years ago.
Yeah. Oh my God. 2004 or 05 with Nick Cage. It's about these two guys. They're con artists and they work together, but they have like the short con where they'd, it was like a quick turnaround type of scam. And then the long con, the one that the other guy ended up pulling on Nick Cage to get to his millions that he had stashed away. Some of the stuff that they do in the movie would be like grifting, like when they call that old lady and say that she won some kind of sweepstakes and she has to buy that water filtration system, like they're posing as salesmen. But
Oh my God.
go
Did
into
you hear
both.
Six Up talking about one of those in her last live? Because I laughed like hell.
What's that?
Six Up actually had somebody scam her when she was 19. She was phoning the psychic helpline.
Oh dear God.
And her and her friend were phoning the psychic helpline and they got through. And the voice at the end said, "You're our winner tonight. You've won so many $1,000. Hang on and we'll get back to you." And they sat there with the phone all night.
No.
And in fact, she had that bill go through life with her until she was actually declared bankrupt.
Oh my
The psychic helpline, I just thought, you can't make
She
this
seems
stuff.
about that bright.
I'm sorry.
We tried to get off of 6, and then here it
I'm
comes
sorry.
crashing back.
No, it's good. It's always
Just
good.
when I thought I'd get out, they dragged me back
That
in.
horse ain't dead yet. We can kick it a few more times.
Oh God, yeah.
Right?
So many
8 months.
categories.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that movie, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels? They kind of did the same thing where they, you know, he adapted to whoever they were going to scam, you know, kind of crazy.
Marlena.
That's what a good scammer does.
Absolutely. But that's hard to do on a platform like this, right? Or in our communities. So
somebody's
just
going to
move
call you out
communities.
eventually.
Well, no, because they watch.
they'll follow
They're
you.
Watchers. They watch people in chat and
They watch who's sending money.
Yes, and then they learn about that person, and then they try to strike up conversations because I guess they feel like they know them enough from watching them in chat, and then that's how
Then it
the whole
begins.
thing is played, and then they latch on to somebody, and it's over from there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Or
That's
we'll
why
watch them latch on to other creators and get in
nervous
good.
about a lot of people in
You are
chat,
nervous?
because it's like, oh my God, people are watching you, and it's, yeah, they're going to
So
be
that's
you up.
that's where I go back to just the receipt saying keep your wallets closed, you know, because they are watching you. They are watching.
Yeah, I mean, to a point. I mean, yeah. I mean, don't
$2
be
super chat here and there is fine, I guess. You know.
yeah, just don't be throwing thousands of dollars at these people, thinking
Right.
that you're going to get them out of some type of predicament, because it's probably
And if you
not.
are going to loan somebody money, make sure you get repaid before you loan them money again.
Vintage, anytime you come on. Vintage wants to be a circle jerk. Hey, cracking asses.
Vintage would make a great circle jerk.
Yeah, I like Vintage. She's adorable. Get out here now.
Charity starts at home. That's right, Marlena Cantu. Go fund yourself.
That's mine. Everybody, hashtag it. Go fund yourself. If you want to, make sure that gets around. Hey, Magpie. But yeah, so
Is this
who
a good
was our
time for me to drop my cash out?
yes, get the cash app.
Hashtag make pearls smell great again.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember Juanita, Dusty, and Raven? When
Yeah.
they in the
No.
Summer Wells case in the beginning?
Yes.
And the sheer amount of money that people sent that crazy Juanita just to, and what she would do, and they sent her money just to keep her there. She'd be like, oh, we're gonna have to leave tomorrow, and I didn't find Summer yet. And that's how that I would consider grifting, but scamming too. But she would play on people's emotions. Like, she had people convinced that she had the ability to find Summer, and every day that she wasn't in Tennessee was a day lost. Okay, well, I got to go home tomorrow because I ran out of money for food, the hotel,
Oh my
and
God, I missed this somehow.
yeah, oh my God, that was
This
in the
was early on.
It was real early.
Must
Yeah.
have been. Yeah.
Yeah, so people, and oh my God, there was this one lady I remember, and this I was watching this happen on Facebook, sent her $300 out of her Social Security check. She's like, you're gonna have to wait. My check clears the morning of the 3rd. And she sent her $300. Yeah, because that's what we need to claim that the hotel room costs a night. And she had a crew with her that had to eat, and then she kept going to like Kinko's to print out these maps, because I guess the way she was searching was with some kind of stupid ass necklace. She would hold over a map, and if the necklace turned a certain way, that meant
A mood ring? She was doing this with a
my
mood ring.
God.
essentially.
You're kidding me.
Wow.
And people send her money for that, huh?
Yes, and then she would set up these scenarios like an abandoned property with like doll heads all over it.
Oh
And there's no
my
way that would have been so set up like that and pristine with the weather that northeastern Tennessee gets. Hell no. You can tell that they were all just put there. The dolls in the trees all over the place, and then Raven comes down.
Yes.
With the flowy hair, and the other one, Dusty. Oh my God, I think Dusty came on Ziggy's panel.
I remember that.
October, November.
Yeah, I remember.
A freaking shit show that was. She was going on about how
The sweatshirt in the creek, right? Was it the sweatshirt in the creek?
Yes, and also the hotel that she was staying in with her crew, the Bloodmobile would come late at night because there were trafficked kids in the room next door, and the Bloodmobile was
God, I
coming
remember this.
for the adrenochrome.
To take their blood.
Oh my God, for adrenochrome. And she starts going off about this, and everybody just like fell silent.
I don't fuck with weirdos around here.
Very QAnon, didn't it?
My God, yeah. But that's what she was.
Someone said she made thousands.
She did. She made.
I'm
a
sure that
lot
she
of
did.
money.
Maybe
Yeah,
there should be a quiz to what communities you can access. You know, you got to take a quiz to see if you're intelligent enough to
Be on YouTube. I've always
to
said
be
that.
in certain channels. You might have to just go to the kids only,
An
and you
IQ.
can't pass the quiz.
Yeah.
fell for it though, and they also fell for the whole thing where she had
People like to believe.
she claims it wasn't her. She claims it was somebody in her crew had Ernie and his merry gang of weirdos out looking in that racetrack. Do you remember when they were handling
Yep.
stuff, shoving it in bags, and
Yep.
Summers in
They
a
were
tote?
digging and stuff.
Oh
yeah.
my
That
God.
That was the sweatshirt in the creek part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a was it a sweatshirt or a jacket? I thought she said it was a jacket that looked exactly like Summer's little pink
Yeah.
jacket.
Well, it's like that zip up thing, the tracksuit jacket. Yeah. I just call it a sweatshirt, but yeah, totally.
You see
Yeah.
how the people just come out of the woodworks with cases like this?
Of course.
Have you seen the comment from Superior Dreams? Because that's a cracker. Raven was also on Jerry Springer before that got shut down on an episode
you
called Cow
serious?
Tipping
Wow.
Wow.
So
this
that
is-
makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah,
She was
there you go.
actually on Jerry Springer.
Would that be a
Wow.
crisis actor then?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it?
Somebody go get Carl. We'll ask Carl.
Yeah, get Carl.
Yeah.
Get Carl on this one.
And of course, now I want to actually find the episode and watch it.
I do too. I was about to Google it.
Maybe we can
Anybody
screen it
got
next
a link?
week.
Let us know.
I knew some people that were on Jerry Springer and they were on it multiple times, but as different characters. That's
Yeah.
crisis actors.
Yeah, that is a
I've
whole
heard of that
setup.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
there's
You'll
a
see
very
that on what's that court show? The
Judge
People's
Judy?
Court. The People's Court. You would see
Yeah.
that too. Like, wait
Which
a
version?
minute. You
Which
were a
version?
victim of something else before.
Yeah,
Walking
haven't
it
you
out.
done this before? Because you look a
Mhm.
little familiar.
With
Oh,
the
now
That's
you're
my
the
definition
plaintiff.
of a
Last time
crisis
you were the
actor.
defendant, but you have a different
Mhm.
name. Yeah.
I don't know if you all are aware or not, but there was a very respected someone involved in the case who was also on Jerry Springer. I don't know if I want to out her.
Oh, now I need to know.
Oh, come on. You can't do
Come
that.
on,
now.
you can't
It
go
wasn't
this
Trisha
far.
of Web Sleuths, was it?
No,
Lolita's a tease. Imagine that.
Trisha
Yeah.
This is not a-
was
Wasn't
a
chasing.
searcher who was involved in I don't want to shame her for it because I'm like, yeah, more power to you. Hell yeah. She participated in a high profile search for Summer, and she was on Jerry
Was
Springer.
it Bullhorn Betty?
No.
Who?
lately.
Lila
Come
Cisco from Equisearch.
Oh, I saw
sis,
that.
our sis. What is her name?
Twyla.
Mila.
Yeah, she was on Jerry Springer forever ago telling her boyfriend or husband that she was a prostitute.
Are you serious?
I swear to
But-
God.
God,
Was he the father?
Yeah.
Wait, that's Maury. That's
People
Maury.
tried
Never
to
mind.
use it to shame her, and I'm like, she's a young, beautiful girl in a poor area. More power to you. Like, you go get that money.
I've got no time for people who shame sex workers. I'm against trafficking.
Me either.
But if a woman wants to work for herself, then that's her choice. I'm not going to shame her for it.
Yeah, no. So
Yes,
they
sex work is a choice. I agree. 100%.
What year was this?
oh my God, it had to be late 90s. She's probably close to our age, I would think.
Okay,
And she
so
couldn't have been
late
any older.
30s, early 40s.
Yeah, it had to be 98, 99, 2000.
I thought somebody said we were like super old last night.
Yeah.
Aren't we in our
Oh,
like
yeah.
80s or something?
Yeah, we're like close to death. Where is Nessie anyway? Nessie, I'm still looking for you, girl. Let's see. How do you spell her name?
TWILA. Yeah,
Twat,
it's on YouTube. But yeah, that was freaking insane. But wasn't she just not married? Her fiance proposed to her on Duty Run.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Duty Run.
Duty Run.
What attention whore.
Judy Ron.
Of all places, like you couldn't have done this while we were at dinner.
The
I just said it was
romantic
a
duty
cheap
run.
date.
Duty Run.
Yeah, no, he set it up like that. I don't know why, but
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean,
more shocking
get a
than the
link.
Jerry Springer thing.
Here's a link. Come up here and propose to me. I don't know. I've got mixed feelings.
He set it up like the boyfriend set it up with Duty Ron.
Jeez.
How romantic.
I know, to have him propose live on the air.
I
I
mean,
guess.
if that's sweet for them, if that's what is sweet for them, you know what I mean? Hey, go for
Yeah.
it. But man, I
Whatever
don't
Thank
know.
floats
you,
your boat.
evil Abes. Highway to hell.
We
I love
appreciate that.
I like that name.
Mhm.
It's good. It's really good. Okay, so we've determined that grifters can be scammers at the same time because grifters do commit scams, right?
Yes,
They're good
Yeah,
at
it's just a lifestyle of scamming.
but not all scams are grifts.
There
That's
you go.
true.
There you go.
it. Yes,
So
exactly.
what scams have you seen that are not performed by grifters on this channel?
That's a good question.
That is
None
a
on
good-
this channel. Now
I
you're
mean, on
talking
this-
about
on this
community, but
platform.
don't you put that on the jerks.
No. I'm not.
Eliza's like, hey.
Sorry. I'm not
My
gonna
Cash
get you
App?
together.
My Cash App is $.
Oops, I just fell and broke my ankle. Can't work. I need help.
That would, I don't know. I would really have to think about that.
Yeah, I would have to think about that too because I kind of want to say something with Doug, but I think Doug might fall into the category of grifter.
Yeah, I think he's
Larry's
more into grifting
that,
because he
But
is
where do you
God,
go?
he can win people
He would
over, and he does it with his humor.
How
What?
about both though? Because
What?
I know that there are some scams that he, there's got to be scams that he's committed.
Yeah.
So maybe he's both.
He went searching for Maya Miliete, and what didn't her family like put him up in a hotel?
I believe that they were given.
Thank you,
hotel
Monica.
And fed, correct? He also made it sound like he was going to be out there doing it multiple times, and from my understanding, he only did it one time for
One time,
a
yeah.
time because I think he stepped on a cactus needle or his car tire.
What's your fun?
I can't remember what happened. Maybe his car got stuck. There was some mild emergency that wasn't really, in my opinion, an emergency that hindered the time in which he was able to search. Because I felt like, I remember when this happened, I remember him, asking people to basically fund his trip there, but it sounded like he was going to do it for a long period of time. It sounded like he was going to go back multiple times. And I don't think he went. I think he went once for a short amount of time, and I believe that the family put up hotel rooms and fed the people. So,
Oh yeah,
his dad-
Hakuna said that he has scammed too. He said he had half of his monthly check would go to Summer's reward fund to get super chat rolling in. Never showed any donations to that baby's reward. Oh, I didn't know that.
wow.
Hmm.
So a
I
grifter
find
and a
his sub
scammer.
count very questionable. How is his sub count so high and yet his chat
know.
numbers are so small?
I know something.
His
ain't
comment
right
numbers are absolutely down the shitter. Nobody
There's a
comments. So
there's a few channels that subscribers count, and then you look at their chat and you're like, it's not even moving. What is going on?
very
Wow.
strange.
Very strange. So Wee Frosty Ewok brings up the Benny with the drone, him, soliciting money to pay for this drone so that he could go search. But then he decided not to go. See, here's the thing about that scam. I don't know that. Now, I don't know. This could.
He
I could
bought
be
the
totally wrong.
drone though, so
He did buy
He
the drone.
definitely bought the drone.
Buy it
Right.
before he decided not to go.
right.
And
And
also,
I don't remember
so
why
that-
he decided not to go, but
He
Because
said it
he
was
was
because
there's
he
the problem.
thought his presence would be disruptive. which
Right.
it
So,
probably
you
would have
know,
been. But he could have decided that
I
much
didn't.
earlier. He didn't have to, don't tell me he discovered at the last minute that his presence was going to be disruptive. And then
Right.
just
There's a lot of other things that Benny has done that I would say is more of a grift than
Okay.
the drone thing, and that's just my opinion. I think
Sure.
that was his intention. Dolly Vision also had gotten a drone. They did definitely have plans to go do that, and
That's what I was going to ask. Like, did this happen? So for me, this, if it were a scam, this is how it would work. It would only be a scam for me if now I'm not saying he's not a grifter. What I'm saying is this specific instance would only be a scam for me if he knew prior to soliciting the donations that he was not going to go. And
right, he didn't
if
buy the drone.
and if he bought the drone after the fact. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know that I can say that that's a scam, but I understand what and I don't know a ton about Benny. I remember him. I remember when he showed up back in the day for the West Boys. Like that whole Doug West Boys thing is very vivid to me. And Doug would ask for money for hotel rooms because he was living out of his van. Is that a scam though? Because he was getting the hotel rooms. He was asking for the hotel rooms, and people
Sounds
were
more like he's bumming.
Yeah, bumming.
Right.
Okay, so
I
is
don't
that
think
money
that's
grubbing?
like. I think that's a
Money
whole different
grubbing.
category. I mean,
That's
he asked out openly, and
Mhm.
you know, if people did it and he did what he said he was going to do with it, then you know, there's if people believed in what he was doing and wanted to help him do that. Let's take for example when Ziggy was going to go to or not go or go and not go to Tennessee for Summer's Day.
I had a problem with that
Um,
one.
we decided as subscribers individually if we wanted to send money or participate in her sale so that she could raise the money to go because we wanted to have her perspective on what she saw and felt and observed while
But
there.
And it
you're
was very small amounts. Most people just gave
It was
$6.
it was
that's
$6.
But for me,
I don't know
that
why the
doesn't-
number 6 was
And
picked.
nobody and Ziggy didn't ask for it.
She did ask, however, for donations to go to Tennessee. And she asked that they be paid through PayPal or, not necessarily through super chats. Okay. So this brings up an interesting question. When I was watching this happen, and then she said that she wasn't going to go. And then it came out, she said, and she was open about this. She said at a certain point, now this was after she said that she was going to go and she was going to talk to people and she was planning to go to the vigil. She said that it went from like that to I may not go to the vigil, but I will be talking to people. And to what I remember was said was something about basically kind of a vacation with her daughter. However, she would be talking to people, but she was necessarily not going to take her daughter to the vigil, which I think makes total sense, and not going to maybe take her daughter to meet with suspects, if she was going to meet with certain suspects.
Right.
I guess so. But my problem with it was the way that it kind of evolved into this thing of like, it possibly could be a vacation, I could see how that could be an issue, but I also can see that it's not an issue necessarily because Ziggy is very open about that stuff. But what about the people that gave specifically at the beginning for the trip out there?
Yeah.
So was that a
And
message?
if they wanted their $6 back?
Yeah.
But no one's going to come forward and say that because we've seen what happens when people do that. At least, I mean, we would because we're strong people, but I don't
think
know
anybody, honestly, I don't know because I'm not everybody. I'm just me. But my perspective is that the people that kind of got in on the $6 donation were well aware of what Ziggy's worries were about actually going. And had she changed her mind, I think it would have been understood. But
she did end up going, which I think is great. But
she did.
Hakuna has a really good point here. Okay, she did say, if you don't, she's always, I feel like she's always said this, if you don't have the money, don't do it, you know,
all the time.
Like,
yeah.
And that to me is a different, that makes it much different. And I know a lot of people.
And I don't really feel like she asked people to send her money to go to Tennessee. I believe is what she said is, if you're going to send a
yes, you're right,
super chat, will you please consider sending it by Cash App or PayPal instead, because I'm not going to get paid
till
from
the 21st.
YouTube, right, and time to go.
But at the same time, she did say, I am, now this is not an exact quote, I am trying to, you know, in words, like, you know, I'm trying to fundraise in order to pay for a trip there because I can't necessarily afford it, you know, like that's a blanket.
And she did that as well with selling her product.
Right. The sale of the products, though, I wouldn't look at that as being a grift. You know what I mean? Like what she uses that
it's her
money
business.
For is what she uses that money for. She's not
100%.
It's her business. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I see Ziggy as a hustler.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing.
Right.
That's where I go back to Doug. Now, if there were proven receipts about, like, I'm sure that there are proven receipts about some of the things that he's done that are scammy. But is he a hustler or is he a grifter then? A grifter, a hustler that maybe does scams, or is he a grifter that does scams?
I keep going back to being a bummy.
Money grubber. The money grubber. Yep. Yeah. Tragedy pimps. Yes and no. I don't think she sad fishes. I think she expresses her.
I think she suffers genuinely from depression.
From depression, period. And she tends to overshare things.
Yeah. And it can come off to people as, I could see how that could come off to people as, yeah.
Especially if you're not a regular viewer and know how she is all the time, I could see how they could
and we all know
have that impression.
Very poor impulse control. Was it a good idea to go buy that Oculus?
Right after
But I kind of think she may have bought it with intentions on selling it to recoup some of the loss.
But however, it turned out to be the right time to buy it if you were going to buy it, because the damn thing went up a couple $100 like a week later.
Yeah, right.
But from a viewer's standpoint, I can kind of see how sometimes this stuff like makes them just kind of shake their head.
I don't pay Ziggy's rent. I don't pay
no
any of Ziggy's stuff. So what Ziggy does with Ziggy's money, or any other creator for that matter, I don't care. I'm not going to judge them for the purchases they make. You know, whether it's a good buy, a bad buy. You know, it's their decision.
I find Ziggy's choices exasperating, but I find a lot of channels' choices exasperating.
Exactly. There's a whole bunch of people
they're going to come for Ziggy's, though. That's the one.
Exactly. I wanted to pick up on what Evil Abe was saying. He said that, it's not phrased particularly nicely, but it's true. Ziggy is one wound-up mess as of late. Her attention to details and reacting to the trolls have ruined her channel, in my humble opinion. I really liked her. Now, I wouldn't have worded it that harshly or necessarily that extremely, but it is a fact that all these outside influences and all these people who are constantly picking at her have totally come to dominate the channel, and it's just really sad.
But
I wonder if people realise if the clip channels actually realise that they are part of this whole circle of what's going on.
Of course they
are. You know, that they create an atmosphere where she feels that she's perpetually watched and perpetually picked over. And so she discusses that. And then you make a clip about the fact that she's discussed that. And then she feels victimised and she discusses it. And there we go again and again. And
it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, it just needs to stop. She's not the only bad person on YouTube. You may not like her, but really,
there's an X at the top corner. You can click it.
It's really not that bad.
Any creator that you're watching that you're not.
I don't find her malicious at all.
I would love to see her get back to being focused on a case. and talking to people, because she's got a real skill for bringing information out of people, whether you like her or not. And look at the billboard guy coming up. Look at the people who are associated with I can't think of his actual name now.
He used to
The
do
sheriff.
really good panels.
Lawson.
Yes,
Lawson.
the panels, they were all excellent. And then it's just gone into a situation where, quite rightly, a lot of the time, she feels persecuted.
Well,
yes, she brings a lot on herself, but nevertheless, that doesn't mean people have free reign to make her life a misery.
But at the same time,
and on that note, I'm going to say good night because it's the early hours of the morning here. But carry on, I'll be in the chat. Good night.
Good night, Pearl.
Love you, Pearl.
Good night. They do it on purpose so that they have content. But here's the thing I want to say is there are a lot of people that make bad decisions, but we just don't know about it because they don't talk about it. You know,
It's not happening on the internet, right?
and in real time, you know,
Right.
and in real time.
Right.
So
I'm curious who she victimized,
yeah,
because
I don't know.
what we've been able to see, she doesn't come for anybody who hasn't come from her first, but I might be missing something. So
Yeah.
Perhaps.
attempts to elaborate.
Well, all right, y'all. I've got to sign out for the night too, but I have really enjoyed this panel tonight. Dee,
Yeah, this
I
has been a
love
good
having-
discussion.
This was an excellent discussion with you ladies. I really enjoyed it. Dee, you brought a lot. We appreciate it, and hopefully you'll join us again.
I hope so too. I hope I didn't talk too much. A lot of times I can, you know, I start to think and question the thing. I know I have my own thoughts on something, so I usually ask the questions in order to get other people's thoughts, you know.
Can we
It's
just-
thought-provoking. I like it.
Can we just look at vintage chat right there real quick?
Let me see.
I don't even know.
I know of three subs that sent a lot of money.
Okay.
I do not know what four texts say. Birthday help, rent sig fund. I love you. There are, can I borrow 10? We as friends have investigated. Okay. Huh. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. Sorry.
As much I know, having watched your channel and, you know, knowing you guys, I know that some of you have problems with just the receipts as a channel. But this shows us exactly why she holds off in showing, you know, and telling these things and waiting for the receipts, you know? Like, we don't know what happened in that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nah,
Just the
no,
receipt.
don't go
Mistake,
there.
though.
Don't go there with us now, because after her blocking and then
Oh,
claiming, no,
what-
I'm done with just the receipts.
Wait. What happened? I'm sorry. I don't know about this. She blocked people?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blocks all the jerks.
really sensitive after she came out with the emails, and I'm by no means downplaying what Annette went through, but I kind of thought those receipts were a little shoddy to begin with, because nobody that we know of besides, well, one person, but she hasn't come out with those receipts yet. No money was exchanged, and we don't know if she wasn't going to get a lawyer, because this was back in April, and she was shook. I don't care what the hell she said to people publicly online that she doesn't care, it's not real. It was very real, and she knew it, and I think she was shitting herself. So maybe she was going to get a lawyer. How the
It's
hell
easy
do you
to
know?
speculate. It's easy to speculate if she was lying or not. I guess you would have to really see somebody else's receipts. I see what you're saying about that.
Exactly. But
However,
sensitive about, you know, the backlash that she was going to receive after outing somebody who she felt was in her peer group. That was completely understandable.
but here's the other thing. Maybe the receipt, maybe what she was showing as like a scammer is that 6up said she wasn't asking for people.
Yes.
people for money.
Yes.
So
She
That
denied
makes
it.
sense.
And she believed that it was for she was lying about the reasons. So I guess just the receipts was really
Outing that.
really, well, yeah, she was sensitive because I guess she's afraid people are gonna.
Well, we don't know that either. We'd have to ask just the receipts why it was hard for her. I know
Oh, but
what
we
she
can't
said
do
online.
that. We can't do that.
Right, because so all of you are
Because
blocked.
she blocked. Yeah, and
Okay.
anytime you comment in her chat, blocked, and then when asked, we couldn't see it, but when
She tried to
somebody
say
else asked why all the jerks were being blocked, she said because we doxed her.
Yeah, and she was never. Nobody doxed her. Ziggy never even
So-
doxed her.
What
Ziggy
was
had
the
over-
doxing?
full
I am
info-
over JTR.
the entire time. Her name was never shown. Her location was never shown. Her address was never shown. It was a tiny snippet of her website that said she had an English teaching degree from Cambridge University. Like,
It's on
nobody-
her website though, currently, right now, or was it on her website before?
It was on. I don't know. I'm assuming it's still up, but it's a website, and the website itself wasn't even shown. It was just that snippet. I'll send you the link. You can judge for yourself if she was doxxed, but
See,
definitely
doxing,
not doxxed.
the whole issue of doxing is really hard for me to understand because some people think doxing is showing an email address, that doesn't necessarily have your first and last name.
Yeah,
Everybody qualifies doxing as something totally different. Showing a picture, is that doxing? I don't know. What is doxing? I mean, maybe you should do a show on what is doxing.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you should.
We will some point
I'm
because
trying to find it here.
That's a good idea, Dee.
I don't need to see the website or anything like that. I just wasn't. I guess my thing is like, how do you decide what is doxing and what is not doxing?
Right? Yeah, I don't
have her
I
first and
don't
last
know.
name on there.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Nope, it did
I
not.
think if I say that you work at a bowling alley, but I don't name what bowling alley, that's not necessarily doxing. And that's practically what happened here, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. It was a snippet of the website that says Cambridge University educated whatever.
But didn't she say that on her live?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the thing. That's the whole point that I was trying to make. Like, yeah, she put all that information out herself. She put her own photo out. She put everything that was shown.
I feel like she is saying that we doxed her and blocked us, but I don't think that's the actual reason.
I personally, I know you guys are going to disagree and you don't want me to go there. I do have respect for her, for what she's
You can
doing.
have all the respect you want.
Well, I had a ton of
That's what
respect.
makes us individuals.
But
Yeah,
I
we don't expect us all to have the same opinions on everything all the time. It's impossible.
But that's the thing. That goes back to what I'm going to say is I don't agree with everything that she's done, though, which I don't agree with everything anybody ever does.
But she
You know what I
deleted
mean?
all of her videos about Ziggy, though. So that you kind of have to commend her for, because we kind of called that out in one of the lives. Like, you can't say you give
Unless
a
she
shit
just
about
didn't want
ethics
us to point out all
and
the
do
stuff that's really
unethical
there
stuff.
that wasn't ethical or receipt provided for. It was just insinuations.
Yeah, it was all insinuations, like the whole pay pig live where she insinuated that Ziggy subscribers were in some kind of freaky, what the hell was it? I never even heard of this shit. But basically, like, she's the master and her subscribers are money slaves.
Some BDSM stuff.
Disgusting. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, you're screaming ethics, but all of this stuff that you put out on people is not ethical. It's not receipt based. It's based on your feelings, because at a particular time you come in and you see something, you feel this way. There was nothing based on facts.
And maybe that's why she took it down, because she did say on her live that she watched and there were things that she was able to absorb and take into account. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
hold herself accountable because other people were. So to me, that's respectable.
Yeah, it is. I absolutely agree. She took it all down. And
And then blocked the jerks.
Yeah, and then blocked the jerks.
I don't understand that.
She claimed that
We
Ziggy
don't understand it either. And so
doxed her, but Ziggy could have doxed the shit out of her, but she didn't. It was basically
But
Ziggy.
why?
When she went
that's
after
right.
Ziggy,
Why? She didn't
Ziggy
want
saying, hey, if you're gonna fuck with me, I'll fuck with you right back. And I believe it ended there. Yeah. So it was a tiny
to. It was
snippet.
enough to show her that, hey, I do know all of this stuff, but here she didn't put it all out. It was pretty well obvious that
she knew who
Ziggy had the goods.
But did that need to be on a live? Could that have happened behind the scenes?
Well, could
Well, no,
of
because
what
she went
she
like
did
this.
happen behind the scenes
Okay.
prior
So that's
to?
how
I
how
mean,
they do it.
you
If
have to
they clap
ask
back.
it both sides, right?
Right. It's
Yeah.
just a question that I'm posing. I'm
Every
not
action
arguing this
sometimes
with
tends
the
to
guy.
get a reaction.
Well, this
Has
is
equal or opposite reaction. Yeah.
an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it never ends because it's
That's right.
back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So she clapped back, and then I think she kind of went silent, and then she came out against somebody that she felt was in her peer group. And it wasn't just for, the scammy email. It was, she was mad because her content was being taken and presented as somebody else's. So that was absolutely highly respectable.
Sure.
What we did, we were trying to be cute when she said there was debate around irregardless not being a word, and she's like, well, it isn't, because 6up went back and forth forever trying to claim that it was. People started coming for just the receipts over that. Well, irregardless is a word, it's a dictionary, and all we were simply trying to point out was, hey,
we were actually backing up just the receipts on that, but
we're going to listen to the woman who has the English teaching degree from Cambridge University over internet randos. But at the time, she was sensitive, and I completely get that, because she's terrified. You could tell that freaking 6-hour live just to show one receipt, she was shitting herself because she knows what 6up is capable of.
Yeah, she's scary, and not in. I don't even know what it is that's saying that she's scary gives her a lot of power, and that's not what I want to do. I think she is unstable, and that
and nobody wants to deal with her.
Right. That's the kind of thing you have to handle with a bit of kid gloves to understand.
No, I totally get where she's coming from, but yeah, she wasn't doxxed. I'm sorry she feels that way, but
I don't know. Yeah, I was just asking. I don't know the whole, the whole thing, but I think it's if you guys were all blocked, that doesn't.
That was really mature, right?
Well, no, she commented and then claimed that the comment was deleted, but nobody even saw this comment. So my theory is she commented,
did work. Look it out.
blocked the channel. That way, because we experimented with this. Yeah.
But
we commented, then blocked the account, and then you can't see, you don't even get a notification.
But isn't there a way to hold comments and until
not if they block you?
No, if
is it possible that your
if you're blocked, you can't see it.
Yeah, I searched everywhere. If a moderator would get rid of a comment, it gets put in the held for review section. And the only thing that was in the held for review section was
Thank you for coming, Vintage.
Porn bots, OnlyFan bots, and Breege. the Google filters, I guess, decided that they were gonna hold Breege for review, but yeah, nothing. So she had to have commented, blocked, and then it disappeared. So it's whatever. I don't take it personally at all. She's sensitive, she's scared, whatever. But she wasn't doxxed.
I didn't watch her channel much anyway.
Hey Pearl, I'm reading your comment and it says just the receipt. Now I'm not here to flying monkey for just the receipts. Like I said, there are many things I don't agree with, and there are many things that I do agree with. Okay. But I do respect her because I do see that she is kind of creating something rather than just going on live and blah, 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 but at the same time, Pearl says, just the receipts doesn't hold back. She's happy to insinuate. I agree. Without receipts, that's a fact. She's insinuating she has big details on a big creator, but she's not ready to speak. Now everyone speculates. Well, here's the thing about that. And this is what I've heard her say. It's a big creator that she clearly needs to verify the person's story, because you can't just come out and insinuate. What she would be doing is insinuating without receipts. You know what I mean?
She's done that previously, though.
A big
How
creator.
big of a creator is 6? What has she got? 2,000 subs? something
Right.
like
That's
that.
not a big
But
creator.
that's not a
That's
big
the thing.
creator.
It's
I
all
was like,
about
who is she
perspective.
talking about? Maybe like, is this gonna be Molly Golightly or
Right, but
Six?
everyone
Come on,
sees
Six,
things.
a big creator.
Everyone sees things differently. To some people that watch people with 200 subscribers, for them this is a big channel. For a creator that has 16,000 scubs, oh my gosh, subs, then someone with 150,000 subs. If someone has 60,000 subs, they would say a big creator would be with like someone that has 2 million subs. It's so many different tiers. Maybe she means a big creator within our small corner of YouTube, or maybe she means a big creator in terms of, you know, a Ryan Upchurch. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's him. You know, we don't know. We don't know. But she also didn't say who it was. So yeah, it's insinuating, but it leaves the door open to be anybody. And I think one interesting thing that she does is she does say, you know, we should be wary of everybody on YouTube. We shouldn't blindly.
Oh, I agree with that.
You know,
Absolutely.
I definitely agree with that.
sorry to take us in that direction, you know, but what I want to say is
Oh, you're
that
fine.
a lot of times people that are victims of scams or, you know, schemes, that kind of thing, it is so embarrassing. It's humiliating. You don't know how people are going to react. If it's a big creator, they probably have a enormous fan base. That person will get attacked. They will be called a liar. They will be, you know,
and they're
regardless of what it
victimized
is.
all over again. They have to relive that entire experience. That's why I'm glad she's taking her time with it.
I think that something
you
like
get
that needs
one
time.
shot. Yeah, you get one shot to do this and to do it right, and you don't get to come back later.
So before we get upset about her not just coming out with it the way that some people would just come out with it, right or wrong, with the right information or the wrong information, I think that we can't attack her at this point because, like she said, there are people that will come forward and talk to her about something or talk to somebody about something and be gung-ho, yeah, I'm going to expose that person, and then get really scared.
Yep.
Because you don't know what's going to happen.
They changed their mind, yeah.
So I think for everybody, before we attack her on this, let's give her a chance.
I think a lot of her talking was trying to fill time because it was obvious she was very uncomfortable and it took her forever. That's why I played that clip of that Stephanie Lazarus interview beforehand, because when she was being interrogated, she was bringing up shit from 1987 just to say anything to keep her from saying what was going to make her feel uncomfortable. So she just had to keep just throwing stuff in. I guess it's your brain's way of protecting you. So she just kept talking about other stuff to avoid, which at some point she knew she was going to have to say it, but she just had to get herself there.
Or she was saying, I mean, you could look at it in many, many ways. None of us are going to know unless she tells us why she said it. You know what I mean? But it's like Pearl said, and Pearl, I'm so not like, you know, poking at you or anything, but what you said is she shouldn't have insinuated about it, but maybe she did that because she thought that the person who had come forward might be watching her and feel like she believed them, because sometimes people need to know that someone believes them before they will continue to decide to do what they're going to do.
Well,
but I agree with you. She didn't need to do that. She did not need to do that. You know, because it did make people, it was kind of like a cliffhanger. And also it might have made the person that was.
And the week before,
feel that way.
The week before that was a super long live leading up to it, to where, oh, I'm not ready. And then the next one was a big old long, and guess what, guys? I'm still not going to do it. You know, if she wants my respect, she's going to have to earn it back.
Well, that's a good point.
Anymore.
That's what we should be doing with all creators. Instead of like blindly believing them, you know, we should believe them when they prove, like it's what you said before, the Maya Angelou quote about when a person shows you themselves, you should pay attention. And that's not the exact quote, but you know what I mean. So I don't know. Anyway, sorry to take us into that way, but also a lot of people do cliffhangers. I don't think it's right, though. I don't think it's right, the cliffhanger stuff. I think it is a manipulation of your audience. I'm not saying that's what Just the Receipts was doing.
It felt like a hostage situation, and
I can
wasn't
totally
cool.
understand that. I totally can. Everyone's gonna feel a different way about everything. That's why I think these panels are really interesting, is because especially if you have differing viewpoints, then you are able to have like a discussion that maybe hits every side of it. Hopefully, you'd hope, you know.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. I was watching something today about propaganda and how YouTube creators use certain visual cues and sound effects to manipulate their audience.
Really?
Yeah, it's too much to go into now, but I thought it was pretty interesting for some of the ones that have the soundboards that play, certain sounds at particular times, and it's like, oh my god.
They remind me of little kids. Just keep pushing the button and pushing the button and pushing the button. You want to take the toy and throw it away.
Malls and grocery stores do that too.
They do?
Yeah, with the music that they use, it's carefully selected.
How? That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Disney does that, and they spray like
Christmas time?
special smells into the air to make you hungrier and things like that. Very strange.
I used to, well, I'm not going to say what I used to do, but I used to work in sales. I'll say that. And it's widely known that, cinnamon, you'll smell a lot of cinnamon at Christmas time, right? Mm-hmm. But cinnamon is something that makes people want to spend money. So beware when you're smelling cinnamon.
Really? That's crazy. Do you remember?
There's a lot of stuff out there that's kind of messes with your mind a little bit subliminally with the music and things like that will get you to spend a little more money than you'd planned on.
And creators do that with the things they talk about, right?
Or the sounds and things, yeah. Some.
Yeah, because they lead you in a certain direction. Like when they say, oh, we're going to go to California to search for, the Cal City Boys, and I'm going to need a place to stay, and we're going to need food, and we're going to need this much in gas. It's like they're putting it out to, I guess some people call it soft begging or whatever, but they're putting it out there like, hey, if you want somebody to go look, you want boots on the ground, then you're going to have to fund this for us to do that.
But then there's situations where
they actually do.
It makes a lot of sense. Look at that Adventures with a Purpose. Their YouTube channel, but funded. All their equipment, all that stuff is funded by by donations, and they're out there doing a lot of good. Not just what they just did. They've been doing it for a long time. This just got a lot of people that hadn't seen them before. It got them noticed, but they've been doing this for a long time. I've been fascinated with them for a while.
Yeah,
I have too. I've watched them for a couple years.
Yeah, they give so many answers to families that cold cases that they just never had an answer of what actually what happened to their loved one. Why did they disappear? And
that's amazing.
So they're doing it by saying, hey, we need your help in order to continue this, and they genuinely do.
But that's different though.
Yeah, that's different than Benny Keys asking for money for a freaking drone that he has no intention to even.
Or can we talk about this thing now? Is this a scam, or is this it because they?
My only point with that is that Adventures with a Purpose started somewhere.
This is true. Okay, can we talk about the Bullhorn Betty boots on or heels on the ground asking for new laptops, spy pens, what were the other things? There was like a crazy list of things that we never saw them actually.
It was ridiculous.
If it's on their Amazon wish list and they're open about that's what they want it for and that's what they're going to use it and do with it, and you want to get it for them, I honestly don't have enough. a problem with it. Now, am I going to go buy somebody a laptop? Probably not.
Is that a grift or is it a scam? Is it anything at all?
I would put it in
I
the
don't think
money
it's
grubber,
anything.
Okay.
the money grubber
That's the one?
category, because what the hell do they need spy pens to go to Tennessee to look for summer for?
To go to the church. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, to surreptitiously film children. But
they use it to bring content to their channel.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I feel like she was targeting the Summer Wells community to fund you know, her organization as a whole, which, I mean, yeah, it would benefit other people, but the timing is just really freaking weird.
I don't really have a problem, honestly. For me personally,
yeah, I didn't have a problem
if they're open and honest and they say, hey, this is what I want, and they're not like sending me an email and putting pressure on me to go buy them something off their wish list, I'm okay with it. You know,
but what
if they're saying it every 5 minutes, bringing up their wish list, well, I'm probably not going to stay tuned into their channel. But if it's like mentioned and it scrolls by, I'm okay with it. That's just me, though.
Okay, but can I bring this up? Because this is what, I don't know, this is my perception, and I could have read it wrong or heard it wrong. But my understanding was they were forming a nonprofit, and this was not going to be their first search. And this was not their first search when they went to Summer Wells. That's what I felt like they claimed. And granted, they did go and look for Brian Laundrie in the swamps, you know, and they did do that. But have they gone boots on the ground, needing spy pens, needing whatever else they needed? I know that she needed a laptop, obviously, because how does she stream or whatever? I don't even know that, honestly. She might use her phone. I have no idea. But was it under false pretense if they led you to believe that it wasn't specifically for this? It was to, you know, further their, you know, upcoming searches that maybe they didn't do.
Yeah,
it's highly illegal the way that was done, for them to put out the name of a charity or whatever that is not a legal 501c3, and they were collecting money for it, and that's where the problem comes in.
Does that make it a scam or a grift? Because I know, like, there are some things that I agree with I believe what Eliza was saying about, you know, as long as they're telling you what it's for, but I don't know that they told us the whole truth. I felt like they kind of insinuated it was for something, a larger thing, you know? And I could have been hearing it wrong.
Like, what larger thing? Like, I know that Molly Golightly was involved with them at that time, and that her husband was working on an LLC, but I think
was it an LLC?
That group split apart. I want to say it was an LLC, but
that's very different from a charity.
Absolutely.
I don't quote me on that because I'm not positive. I don't watch any of them on the regular, so. But
yeah, I really don't either.
I believe the intention was to form this group, which they kind of did in the last trip to Tennessee. Kind of went awry with their
interpersonal.
Yeah, they found it out that they just quite didn't mesh, like working together in that way is the impression I'm under.
But it wasn't Molly that was asking for the Amazon wish list stuff.
Right.
It was the team of like Bullhorn, Betty, JLR. So to me, like, I wonder, wow, because for me, when I was hearing about this, it's like I felt like Bullhorn Betty was insinuating that the things that they were asking for were going to be used for all of their future searches. And I've not seen another search, but again, I don't watch.
But they have gone out.
Have they? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. They went to Moab, right?
I think they did.
I think they were trying to not about Gabby, but what were the two other young ladies?
Kyland and Crystal.
There we go. There we go. I think they were looking for answers on that, and that was after they went Summer Wells. So that wasn't with Molly, but with I know it was Bullhorn and Olivia.
I see. Shiva Mom.
They have.
Olivia was with them in front of
I just
their home, I think.
Shiba Mom says Bullhorn Beggy. Oh my gosh. Wow. Bullhorn Beggy. Wow.
Good
Holy
one.
cow. Bullhorn Betty was e-begging for a case in Michigan. She was very tight-lipped about it. People donated. She never went and never spoke about it again. I don't know anything about that, but that is interesting to me. I would be interested in looking
There's
into that.
times where I've seen them try to raise money for trips to say that they're going to go do something, and then something changes with the case where them going isn't going to make any kind of difference, so they hold off and will wait until they can actually make a trip to where they do feel like they can have an impact. So I don't know. My suggestion would be go ask Bullhorn Betty.
I will.
Instead of us guessing about it. I'm sure if you asked her straight out, she'd probably tell you.
But you don't know that, you know what I mean? Because people are very especially if they are doing something that's a little bit shady, they're going to go hard in making you believe that it's not. You know what I mean? People will put their defenses up. It's like when you call someone a liar, that's like such a strong
But you could
allegation.
ask her and listen to her answer and then evaluate your opinion from there. You know,
I was just bringing it up.
That's better than asking me, because I certainly don't know what her intentions are.
But I'm kind of bringing up as a hypothetical in some ways, you know what I mean? But also them as an example. I'm just asking what you guys think. So I don't know. Jen says, I think Heels honestly thought that they were going to do great things as an organization. I agree with you. And then egos happened and all fell apart. So that makes sense. That does make sense.
Yeah, because there's too many strong personalities and everyone wants to call the shots. Those strong personalities aren't too good with taking orders from other people. So I knew that was going to fail before it even started.
Yeah. I guess what I think creators should do, we are kind of like, it's easy to speculate. Someone's a scammer. Someone's a grifter. Like you said at the beginning, people are called, that word is so overused.
Yeah, so overused.
So in order to thwart that, maybe people should really think about, try to be as transparent as humanly possible. If money is involved, you have to be 100% transparent.
Absolutely. Because people will
find.
And
if you're going to give money, be responsible with what you're doing with your own money. Take responsibility for that.
Yeah, don't ignore that little twinge in your gut or that voice in your head that says, hey, something isn't right here. Because we're born with intuition for a reason. That's what kept us alive for thousands, millions of years as humans. That little feeling that you get that says, hey, there's something not right. Something stinks about this. Because 9 out of 10 times, there is something wrong and it, but a lot of people choose to ignore that gut feeling. And that's where people get into trouble.
Do you think it's a scam if somebody... No, I know it's a scam. Never mind. I'm not going to ask because it's like a stupid question. I already know the answer to it. So I'm not even going to waste our time with it.
But yeah, and then we have the money grubbers. Those are the ones that I would classify like the beggars that just come on. I need cigarette money. I need this. I need that. My kids need school supplies or school clothes, or I'm going to be posting my Cash App because my husband wants to go on vacation. That's 100% money grubbing.
Or if they need a car parts.
Yeah, car parts. It's not scamming because they're being honest.
They're telling you what they want to do with the money,
right.
But it's not your responsibility.
But what if they get the car parts and then they sell them?
Anybody's husband on vacation or fix anybody's car, or what was the other thing?
Go fund yourself.
Yeah, go fund yourself.
Yeah, I mean, there's no shame in asking for assistance. Like that lady with the electric bill, I 100% thought she did the right thing. She had 4 kids at home. Her electric was getting shut off in 2 days. And so desperate times call for desperate measures. So she did the only option she had left was to ask strangers on YouTube for help. completely different situation when it's, down to your food, clothing, shelter type of thing.
Yeah, the things you need in order to survive.
Necessities, right. But nobody needs cigarettes.
But if you aren't actively participating in funding your own life in some way other than begging constantly on YouTube, that's a big difference than somebody who's working their butt off and is short once or twice. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Go fund yourself.
Go get a job.
There are a lot of creators that don't have jobs.
Yeah, but don't ask me to support you. That's,
I
don't have a problem with a creator that being their job. And if they're able to make ends meet by doing that, awesome.
Exactly.
But
It's not a job unless you're supporting
me.
yourself. It's a hobby.
Right. Don't expect me to suddenly feel like, I got to make you a paycheck. If I want to tip you, I'll tip you. But
right. I don't think it was meant to be a steady source of income unless you have
there's some that can.
Yeah, if you're like a toy reviewer or reviewing certain products or whatever, but true crime, no.
What's that?
There are a lot of criminals in true
young
crime.
man's name that has made so much money by giving away so much stuff?
Oh, that Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast.
Yes, Mr. Beast. My grandson loves him.
Lip locked.
Yeah, but
I lip locked.
He doesn't have to go get a job. He gets to, man, what a dream job. Going and giving people things. He did. It came out of his own. It's his creation, and it's joyful. I enjoy watching him surprise people by just giving them things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen that Drake video for God's Plan?
No.
I have not.
It's awesome. It makes me cry every time I watch it. And I'm not really the softest person. And I'm not the biggest Drake fan, in the world. You know what I mean? It's really moving. I suggest you guys watch it. Talk about giving stuff away. It's really special, I think.
And who was that, Drake? Did you say?
Yeah. It's a great video. It made me have a lot more respect for Drake, honestly. It's great. It's from a few years ago, Anyway. Yep. I noticed there are a lot of criminals on YouTube.
Yeah, I had Cam and Allie written down here under the section of accused with no proof because they caught a lot of hell in the beginning of that whole billboard thing.
Yep.
And it was apparent that Cam did not want to get involved with that. The look of dread on his face, but saying no made it look like, well, no, I don't want to help do this thing for summer. And I think between Cam Alley and Chasing Truth, they collected $500-$600 maybe. And they caught a lot of shit. People lumped them together with Brad, and it was nothing even close to the Brad situation where he actually took advantage of people. He collected money from people at the vigils. He tried to scam that Christie lady out of paying the entire billboard fee.
And he played on people's emotions when he would. There wasn't a time that I didn't hear him not crying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're right. Cam and Allie have never asked for anything. And that when they were asked to help spread the word with the billboard fundraiser, the look on Cam's face, it was of pure oh shit. I don't want to say terror, but yes, I want to do this for summer, but I do not want to be involved in anything that has to do with money because this is what happens.
Do we think maybe they got scammed by Brad?
Possibly.
Cam and Allie Chasing?
Yeah, because didn't they handed the money over to him, like everybody else, and he didn't pay. I I forget when Delvey said that he did get, I think it was $2,000 out of him, but it wasn't until God, I don't remember. I think it was like the second time that he took him to like an ATM or so. I'd have to go listen to the whole thing over again, but I think in the end he did manage to get 2,000 out of him.
Wow.
For the billboard, and then like Christy paid another 4,000 or 8,000.
8,000. I feel like it was like something.
Yeah.
8,000 or 9,000 maybe. It was a lot of money. I feel like
a lot. Yeah. And I think he was showing what was it, like a quote or whatever, how they give you a quote like on an invoice, and he's saying, oh yeah, here I paid, here's my receipt, and it wasn't even a freaking receipt, but people fell for it because he came in, he was a smooth talking Southern gentleman with the accent, he was smart enough not to show his face, but a lot of people they were hooked. They thought he was like the second coming of Christ, and that probably is the biggest scam.
Remember his first one with the flyers? He was supposed to send all these people flyers, summer wells flyers to hand out.
Yeah,
he got them from a printer.
Uh-huh.
Did anyone get their flyers?
I don't think
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
People have been waiting on them forever.
Yep. I agree with you, Skylar. Money grubbing isn't scamming.
No, because they're being very straightforward. Hey, I need a pack of smokes. Cash at me $10. That's pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who's the biggest one of that? Pandrew.
Does he really?
Oh, he did. I have
not
watching
it all. I remember
a very long time, but yes, that would be
Allie.
Oh, I can't pay my phone bill.
I remember that. And would that make Nita's World a money grubber?
Absolutely, 100%.
Money grubber. A little bit of a grifter too, because didn't she go to Tennessee full well she could not afford to get herself back?
Yep.
What?
Yeah, something happened. Either she ran out of gas,
and her car broke down, and then she ended up staying at a motel, but she wasn't planning on staying at a motel, so now she didn't have any.
Someone paid for that for her, and it was a big ordeal.
Somebody
big shit
fixed
show
her car.
when she went down there to supposedly get the Sunshine Fund all hooked up with Brad, and he gave her the runaround.
Didn't that happen to Griff too?
Yeah, I definitely think she's a little bit of a grifter too. Mainly money grubber, but definitely some grifting going on there. But yeah, who the hell drives out of state knowing that their car's not going to make it and they're not going to have money for gas or to even feed themselves?
Or for a hotel, should you need one along the way. I mean,
does that make her a bad planner, or does that make her a grifter?
It makes her all of that.
Okay.
I think I would say grifter, because she knew if she put herself in a situation that people aren't going to let her sit.
Nobody wants to see her on the side of the road.
Right. Nobody wants to see anybody stranded. So in her mind, well, nobody's going to leave me stranded. Somebody will give me money. Somebody's going to come back.
Luckily, while she was stranded, she had Wi-Fi enough to get a signal out to put the news out there that she
coincidence
needed.
Is that a coincidence? I don't know.
Call it what you want.
Yeah, that whole thing was crazy, but it's sad that Summer Wells brought the worst out in a lot of people.
I don't think it's just Summer Wells. I think if you look deep enough into any big cases, that you're going to find that going on a little bit all over.
Yeah, Evil Abe missed it. He wants to know what's a grifter. Oh my god.
No.
Rewind. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you got to go back to the beginning.
Rewind, yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good point. A grifter by any other name is still a grifter.
Yeah.
Who's she talking about? She sounds like an expert at it, so I'm going to put my vote in as a grifter. Is that Nita, you mean?
I think so. That makes sense. An expert at it, so point.
Did Christy pay for the
Yeah,
bill?
even if it wasn't previously a lifestyle, it's certainly turned into one here over the last several months, you know?
Maybe what happens is they get it, they see what they can do. They see that people are willing to give, and that's like a drug in some ways.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
It happened the first time. They were willing to
That
give.
makes it so parasitic, you know?
Yeah, to me, that turns you into a grifter. That's what
And then
how
they
you
see
become
it.
a grifter.
They see that as a way out of all kinds of things later on, and just becomes
Absolutely.
more and more.
Yeah, they see how easy the money comes in when you simply just ask for $15 for gas.
Yeah.
To
Right.
go fill out a job application. Well, shit, that was easy. Let's try $50 next time.
Becomes a pattern of behavior because it's so easy. That's why we all need to be really careful about this kind of stuff. People, the thing that Just the Receipt said about, and many people have said it. This is a community of people that have been hurt, that have been victimized, that are survivors. So, and a lot of people are in pain. And so when people are in that much pain, they want to end other people's pain as quickly as they wish their pain could be ended. You know,
Right. And there's a lot of lonely people out here too. And I think the main demographic is women 45 to 55, and then 55 to 65 is the second largest. So you have middle-aged lonely women who just want to end other people's suffering, and it gives some people joy to give to people too.
And this is it's true crime. These are people that care about people, that have
Yes, that do want to solve problems. They want to be fixers. Problems. Yeah.
I think that's part of it is folks wanting to be a part of the solution. Everybody wants, in this case, Summer found or justice for Summer, and they want to feel that somehow they're a little part of getting Summer some justice.
Also, I think it's a lot, like you were saying, a lot of lonely people. And when you're in these chats, to be recognized, because, they do recognize the super chats, it makes you feel seen. It makes you feel like you are needed and part of something. And a lot of lonely people, that's all they want.
I know. I see that a lot with the super chats. It's the same people, it's different creators, and they do it because they just want to be acknowledged. They just want the creator to
that sense of community can really mess you up. You know what I mean?
That's how cults work, But at the same time, we can't say that as a blanket for everyone that repeatedly gives super chats. Some people just want to give, So I'm not saying that as a blanket statement, Nothing can be said as a blanket statement in general, you know what I mean? Unless there are really no absolutes when it comes to people's personalities.
Yeah, no, there's a variety of reasons why they do it, but people do watch and they look for patterns of behavior, and they will seek these people out, and they will exploit them because people are predatorial by nature. We're animals, and intelligence is supposed to kick in and be like, okay, no, this is not okay, but some people just don't care.
Yeah, and that's the part that is really like crazy for a person is if they have been victimized. How could this happen? How could somebody do this?
Yes,
it's really hard to fathom that someone thinks in that way, in a criminal way, but people do, and they're good at pretending they don't.
Yeah, we had this conversation
that happens
last night about how when we look at elderly people, we see our parents and grandparents and want to protect them. But then there's those other people that look at them and think, oh my God, it's going to be so easy to get one over on them because they're in, a vulnerable position.
Yep. They prey on the vulnerable.
Yeah, they do.
Yep. So we went over scammers, grifters, and and hustlers. We didn't really touch on hustlers that much, right? Hustlers, we said that. Wait, I forgot who we used as an example for a hustler.
Ziggy would be a hustler. AB would be a hustler. Dolly would definitely a hustler.
Oh my God. He's really good at
He
it.
is good
Smartest
at it.
hustler.
That
Yeah.
Turtle Island thing was brilliant, by the way.
That was
Yeah,
brilliant.
absolutely.
Anytime I can sell
Absolutely.
thin air, I mean, it's brilliant.
Yeah, you create a made up island and put freaking, floating avatars from the internet on this island, and people are going to throw all kinds of money at you to keep them on. And you notice that people are trying to rip it off now. And
Yeah, I know. It's
copy.
kinda
It's-
gross.
I
Gross.
doubt they'll be
Flames.
as successful as the original.
Yeah, you have to have that personality. And the
You
thing
do.
about Dolly is he really knew that he could tap into multiple sources of
I
subscribers.
don't even
and-
think that Dolly realized how successful this was going to be when he started it.
Yeah.
I think he started it just as something silly, and then all of a sudden he went, hey, wait a minute, because he wasn't, I don't believe at the beginning, you couldn't buy votes. But
Oh,
then he was like, hold on, people are pretty passionate about this. If you do a super chat, so much counts for so many votes. So it was a way that people could throw money at it and, kind of keep their favorite creator, give them a little cushion or whatever. So
Yeah, I think he
I
had
mean-
to add that because people were always complaining that they couldn't get through on the phone. And some of the
Oh.
people were just calling in to be trolls just to hang on the phone and
Right.
talk about absolutely nothing. So he almost had to offer other options. But yeah, people voting Molly back on the island.
Oh my gosh,
Probably
that's so
numerous
wild.
times. I mean,
a
it
down
was
payment for a
it has
house.
worked. It has worked out brilliantly for him, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to hate on his game at all. That was
Yeah,
Well,
it was.
he has a real his personality is not. I know that he and a couple creators have gone into blows. You know what I mean? But I feel like his personality is pretty I am who I am, and
Yes.
it's not. It's like a common denominator. So many, like I said, many different groups of
And he's-
people can come and join in his thing. And I also like that in some ways, in my opinion, you don't see the creators attacking each other. They can take it in stride. It's kind of funny to them. You know what I mean? I think
Right.
it's a good way to unite people in a sense. And this community needs that. It was, in fact, if anyone watched Krama Mama last night, that was really cool to see that group of people all together talking.
Scott and Tiffany
Do you
together.
mean Gavel
Yeah.
Geeks?
And joking back and forth. Yes, Gavel Geeks.
That
Gosh,
was Gavel Geeks.
yes. But Adrian and Jenny, they're kind of Jenny goes on Krama Mama. So
I
to
just
me,
don't
I
want him
just
to go
leave it at that.
looking for this
No, definitely not.
this
Gavel.
live on the wrong channel, because you want to go to Gavel Geeks and check that out. But it was legendary with the
Especially-
Scott H unveiling and
Yeah, that was long.
Jody Sue's sister coming up. That was, if you haven't seen it, it's a long one. You'll probably have to speed it up because it was a very long live, but definitely worth the watch.
Yeah, and
And-
how about Scott? I always pictured him looking like the guy that plays the flute for Snorlax, like the hippie guy. Except Snorlax and Pokemon.
That was so nice to see. Now, they may still hate each other. They may not have reconciled anything, but it was nice to see Scott and Tiffany kind of joke with each other a little bit. I felt like
Right.
Scott.
They don't have to reconcile and be best friends, but we all have to be together in this community. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of civil respect can go a long way.
Just be
Right.
civil with
Just
each
like a
other.
ceasefire.
Puppy.
Yeah, you don't need to be best friends, but you don't need to
You don't need to be
try to
disrespectful.
tear
and-
each other down and get kicked off or something.
Right.
Right. That's the one thing I don't like on panels when it does seem like the Jerry Springer show. It's like a big turnoff for me. I'm not gonna try to tune in and listen to a bunch of overtalk. It's just not worth my time.
That's how this panel is, kind of like Jerry Springer.
This
Yeah.
one?
Just kidding.
Jody Sue's preemptive.
It was
defense
like, wow, I did not intend for that.
No, I'm totally joking.
was equally hilarious. Yes, Jody Sue was freaking shook.
Oh my,
Was she?
that's why That's why I didn't get much sleep last night, because I watched all of Gavel because I couldn't turn away. And then I was like, well, hold up. I got to see what Jody said now. So I did go look.
Barbie on the West Coast, yes. A common purpose. That's the thing. Like, summer should be the common purpose, though. I'm not saying anything negative about Jody Sue being the center of attention. You know what I mean? But really,
I am.
everyone should have gotten together for summer as this common purpose, you know?
Right, and made it about her finding
part
out what
But part
happened.
of what this is that as well.
Mhm.
Trying to determine how much of what Jody Sue is saying is bullshit.
Mhm.
It is kind of needed as far as the whole big picture when it comes to Summer Wells. But yes, I wish it happened sooner, where creators would have put their bullshit aside and said, "Hey, this is the information I have. Here's the sources that I double checked it with, and if they would have shared sooner and worked together sooner, I don't know. I'm not saying YouTube's gonna find Summer, but it sure would have been a lot more interesting for all of the viewers to watch than everybody at each other's throats, with a bunch of dumb. I mean, come on. One of these days we got to just discuss all the stupid fights that people have made up from.
It'd
But
be
there was
awesome.
like the stupidest shit that happened that didn't have nothing to do with the greater good of trying to figure out what happened to this little girl.
Yeah, egos got in the way, and then certain people wanted to police all of YouTube and what could be reported, what shouldn't be reported. And in the grand scheme of things, if these channels were to only show her flyer and give the facts, everything we know, nobody would be talking about her.
There's not that many facts to give, though.
Yeah.
True. There's going to have to be some speculation.
Yeah.
Because that's what kind of spurs the. You got to go down a bunch of different trails to end up on the right path, I would imagine. But
calling speculation absolutes, I mean, that's where the problem
no,
comes.
That's
in this case really are.
That's the problem. Or speculating on stuff that is so absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Why spend an hour on that?
Yeah, a lot of debunking needs to happen.
Right.
But really, like I said, the only real fact absolute is where Summer is gone.
Yeah.
Summer's not home. Yeah. That's one thing we know for sure. What caused that? That's still to be determined, and I hope someday we get that answer.
Yeah. You're right, Ray. YouTube did find Gabby. That was awesome.
Hey, and YouTubers found Kylie.
And I think YouTube could find Summer too by keeping pressure on law enforcement, keeping pressure on the last people who have eyes on her while she was still alive. They're going to crack eventually.
Keeping Summer's name out there, keeping Michael Vaughn's name out there, keeping other missing children's names out there, it doesn't allow the police to set the file to the side. No, you got to keep it right in front of you. I want you to think about this little girl every day you go to work. I want you to look at that little face and think about her, because she's still not home, or Michael's still not home.
Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, sorry to be on the other hand, YouTubers really need to be careful to not make themselves a nuisance, because that just discredits the entire everything. Like a couple bad seeds can ruin the bunch.
Yeah, the YouTubers' jobs really are to keep the story and the kids' pictures out there, but it's not for them to. It's not their job to interfere with law enforcement.
Right.
No, we had people calling TBI over stuff that they heard on a YouTube channel that does EVP recordings. That's over 1,500 tips in the first couple months, and they were all bullshit and bogus. TBI and Hawkins County have repeatedly said, unless you have firsthand knowledge, don't call us. But people would call, they'd hear something on a channel, and instead of using common sense and just, you know, kind of filing that away, like, okay, that's something to think about, they would call it in as a tip.
Common sense is not that common. Sorry to use that.
I have noticed, but the whole thing, you speculate, people trade ideas. What if this? What if that? This person comes out and talks. Like, that's supposed to stay here.
Right. Just because it makes a lot of sense to you doesn't mean you call it in and go, I've solved the case. I heard it on YouTube. Here's what happened.
And, like, it's up to the viewers to decide what they find is credible, not necessarily fact, because we don't know. But there's a lot of stuff that's not fact that I find very credible and I believe. However, that you don't call that into TBI and be like, okay, well, I put 2 and 2 together and now I have 4 and this. You need
so
to
are you going out right now? You got an arrest warrant, right?
Yeah.
That's
you need
why
to be here.
people need to also remember, now I'm not saying that YouTubers aren't doing a good job at certain things or aren't helping, but this is for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, definitely.
Always.
That's something people need to remember, I think. Anyway,
people just definitely keep that in mind, because you see a lot of people that really take the things that they see and hear and they don't look at anything themselves. They just go ahead and say, okay, that person said it, must be how it is. And then they're running it all over chats everywhere else. It gets crazy.
Well, it's hard when creators are doing that as well.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. You can't expect your subscribers or your viewership to not do that if that's what you're doing. Lead by example, you know. But hey, that doesn't work. That doesn't always happen, and subscribers don't necessarily keep coming back if there's nothing like wow. There's no wow factor to it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
so I hope we painted the picture here of what is a scammer, what is a grifter, what is a money grubber, and what is a hustler.
We may have just confused you more. We don't know.
Or we made it just talked and chatted with each other, and I don't know what we've done. But I feel like, you know, some good things were said. Do you?
Oh, absolutely. And then sometimes it doesn't matter, even if you have facts right in front of people's faces. They're still going to believe what they want to believe anyway. So we try.
Liplock says, I don't want to wow viewers. But here's the thing about that, Liplock. You don't necessarily have to wow viewers with what you're saying. You just wow viewers because you're you.
Absolutely.
And she does tend to wow
You're
you
a
at the
wower.
end with her beautiful voice, you know, where she gives us a song.
Liplock is just
She's
wow.
got that wow factor.
Yeah, so it's not like she even needs to
She
try.
doesn't need scandal.
No, wow is just Liplock. She's
probably my most clipped channel because she just does funny shit. Like the other day, she went outside and the mama cat's laying there, and Liplock goes, Jody Sue Brown, and the cat, she looked at it and like,
right?
It was me. Like, it was like the most hilarious thing. I clicked it not to share it just because I wanted to watch it. But the
cat was like, when she said Jody Sue, the cat was like, where?
Yeah, the cat was offended when she's like Jody Sue Brown, and the cat's like, what? God, I have to clip this.
That's the cool thing about YouTube, though, is that there are people that a lot of whether you agree with what they're saying or not, there are a lot of characters on YouTube, and that's why they have YouTube channels. And for that reason, it's pretty exciting. You know, it's a pretty fun place. And I would say, Liplock, you are a character in the best possible way.
Absolutely.
Oh, and I'm so happy because of YouTube. I now know, you know, Liplock. Yeah. Without YouTube, I'd have never known about Liplock. She lives far away from me.
Yep. One of Ernie Shell's scams was membership scam. Do you guys remember this? It was like, send $100. We only have 100 spaces. You'll have access to this website, which ended up looking kind of like an Angel Fire website. And you
Gonna
would
get
this,
medallions or something.
yeah, but the one thing that I remember hearing was an Ernie Shell action figure. Now, it hadn't been a credible person, and I knew I was gonna for sure get that action figure. Hey, I might have done it just for an Ernie Shell action figure. You know, I think that he's a scammer. I think that he's a grifter. I think he is all of those things. A money hustler, all the things we've talked about today, just rolled into one cartoon character. If he were Borat, if that were a performance art piece, like, it would be huge. I don't believe a word that he says, and I worry for people that are involved in that, but I maybe would have paid $100 for that action figure. I might make them myself.
That might be worth something down the road. You never know.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, if you do, be sure to send us some of those action figures so we can review them right here.
Got my cash app. $100. I'm just kidding.
Didn't he raffle off or auction off that hat too a couple different times?
Didn't he do it twice? Yeah.
I
Didn't
think
really.
From Halloween Spirit City, that Halloween hat.
No, the hat that has the crocodile teeth.
Yeah, that's
The
from,
tooth.
that's from Spirit City, the Halloween store. That is.
Are you serious?
I found it online.
Oh my
You can
god!
get one on Amazon.
God.
Why get one that you're going to need to fumigate when you could just get a new one?
Oh my god, I had no idea you could just
Oh my
get
god!
it at
We need this hat.
Halloween.
I'll send you a link.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Community page. That's for.
Awesome.
Oh my god! Oh god! So for Halloween, if you had to dress up as a YouTube creator, who would it be?
Ooh. I would do.
Yeah. Oof.
I'd do Bullhorn Betty.
That would be an easy one because all you'd have to
It
do
would be
is
easy. A wig and a bullhorn. You
But
could wear
people
some
would
comfy
make you-
t-shirt and jeans. So, you know.
just don't use conditioner for a month, and you don't need the wig.
No toner. No toner for that hair.
No toner.
I don't even. I hate picking.
I'm
on it
not
because
bleaching my hair like that. No, I'll get a wig.
You're gonna need to bleach your hair like that.
No, I'm not ruining my hair. My hair is down to my rear end.
Oh my gosh, Crystal Gale in the house.
Mine is too. I have really long hair.
How would someone do Molly though? You'd have to get the black glasses that she wears.
Ooh, Molly would be a good one too. Why didn't I think of Molly? Or
But how else
Justin.
would you do it? The black glasses,
Watermelons.
like cleavage.
some
Cleavage?
some fake boobs. I'd
Mhm.
need fake boobs.
What else would you do? Like,
A tamale.
yep, she does do that.
You gotta be equipped with a tamale.
You gotta sing some show tunes or New Kids on the Block.
Right?
I actually love it when she does karaoke. I'm not, I have no affiliation with anybody. I kind of just like will go and see what's
Yeah,
entertaining. But
I
sometimes
kind
that
of-
is so entertaining. Not for like long periods of time though. Just like for a moment.
Small
It's like-
doses.
Yeah, I can't watch that all day. My head will spin off.
What about you, Lolita? Who would you be?
Oh, Ernie Shell for sure. I'm like
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
order that hat now.
I will send you the link for sure. I don't know who I would pick. I can't. I'm gonna have to think about that a bit. I cannot.
Oh,
think
but
of-
you're the one that asked. I thought you had
No, I
somebody in
didn't.
mind.
That was me. I asked.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
Really quick.
That was
And
not
that
me.
wants to know: does anybody know if Pickles is still alive?
Who's
Jody's
Pickles?
cat?
Isn't that the
One
the
with,
cat
like,
that?
the cleft palate cat? Yes.
Oh. What about her dog? Didn't that eat some animals?
Yeah,
Wasn't
not
there a
this
dog
one
that ate
though.
some-
This one I think was a subject of controversy because it had a cleft palate, and instead of taking it to the vet and having the corrective surgery, she just lets it go and chain smokes in front of it.
Oh, you shouldn't be smoking in front of your animals. Their lungs are smaller than our lungs. Like this is not. You shouldn't be doing that. That hurts me to think about.
And I had a cat with cancer already, so they get everything that we get.
Yeah.
All those horrible diseases. Yeah, he had lymphoma,
Mm.
congestive heart failure, so he was too old and sick to even go through the chemo. But yeah, her poor cat cannot breathe, and she just completely ignores.
Oh.
We Frosty Uwak says Pickles was still breathing audibly. So
Well,
I guess Pickles still there.
That's a great name for a cat. It's cute.
Sure.
Oh, Tangeray is back. All right, so Tangeray and Dee, who are you dressing up as? Eliza said what? Bullhorn Betty?
Yep. That's what she said.
Yeah.
You said Ernie Shell.
Ernie Shell for sure. Oh, God, I got to get a big belt buckle, too.
You got to get some of those bondage bracelets as well.
Yes.
Like all the way, like up to your elbows, bondage bracelets.
I'm so doing this, too. So you guys better participate. I am 100% going to go Ernie Shell.
That's bold.
We should have a costume contest where everybody votes who has the best costume.
Then we have to show who we are.
No, we're going to be in costume.
Oh, come on. Some of us can't hide who we are by just putting on a costume, okay?
We'll block out your face.
Yeah, blur some people.
Yes. We'll figure it out, but yeah, we have to do this.
Yeah.
Who's dressing as 6-Up? What would, oh my God, Ray, what would a 6-Up costume even be? Like, you'd have to black out all of your teeth and not brush your hair for a month.
I would just go with somebody that only has like a one of these like pulsating avatars. That, and I'll just shake it, pulsing it. You know, that's who I would be. It's too bad that Scott H revealed himself, not because he revealed himself, but because that's who I could be, just shaking a little avatar circle.
There you go. You can like get like a poster board, like an all black one, and then like make a circle of Scott's avatar, his logo, and put it over. Yeah,
I would be Scott H BC, not Scott H AD. You know, like he showed himself. Yeah,
that's clever.
Yeah, that's what I choose.
What about you, Tango?
Wait, I'm changing my mind then, and we could be like little symbol avatars.
Yeah.
That's like super easy to do. I don't even have to put on some makeup for that.
That's what I'm talking about. But I would really like to see you bleach your hair.
Yeah,
I'm not bleaching. I am not bleaching my hair. Not happening.
Okay,
I'm not ruining my hair for Halloween.
Are you saying Bullhorn's Betty's hair is ruined? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that mine couldn't take the bleach.
Kidding. Just trying to take you into that whole. Oh yes, Pirate Captain AB, but AB has shown himself. We have seen AB. I don't know.
I'll get back to you on it.
Okay, that sounds good.
I guess you can go as lip lock too, but she has really good hair. It's going to be hard to copy her hair. Heidi's bed. Oh my God.
Yes. That is awesome.
Heidi's bed is a key player in the community.
That is amazing.
That.
Queen OG.
That's brilliant.
That is fabulous.
Oh, that was a good one.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to have to write these down. Oh,
Can I be the cricket in Purple's garage?
Oh my God, that thing drives me crazy.
Oh my gosh. What about, like, I remember in the West Boys case, there was one creator, I don't think they're around anymore, but they never changed the freaking battery in their smoke detector.
That drives me crazy.
I could be the chirp from the smoke detector if that creator were still around. So, anywho.
I'll be chasing truth and just tell everybody that their mother's a hooah.
That's good. That's good.
A good one. I'm a cat lady too in it. Crazy cat lady.
I'm allergic to cats.
Well, I am too, but
really? Wow, you're
showing up. And
Sharon wants to be Nita's fan. I'm dead. Oh my God.
Nita's fan.
Click.
Abandoning the babies, and then we'd have to bottle feed them, and Nita's fan. Oh my God.
Queen OG, none of us are big enough to be Crayola's ego.
Jody Sue's lips.
Jody Sue's camper. Oh my God, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, we could think about this all day.
Mama Keys.
Oh.
All right, you guys ready to wrap up here? Because I want to
I
go.
think
I
so.
think I've been ready.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming and listening to our informational live. Hopefully everybody learned something.
If
And
not, I
also,
Like,
hope you were
subscribe, hit the bell.
Liza made a good point, and we keep forgetting to bring this up with the whole close your wallet thing. People are subscribed to a lot of channels that don't regularly put out content. So check your subscriptions to make sure that you're not paying for silent creators.
Oh, like memberships and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not paying membership for channels that aren't putting out content. So, all right. Until next time, ladies and jerks. Everybody
fund yourself.
Good night, jerks.
go fund yourself.
That is so brilliant. That's the funniest.
Mhm.
Good job, you guys.
Yeah,
All right,
please
bye.
leave us a thumbs up, and we will see you guys soon.
All right. Good night, everybody.
I don't know how to leave. Oh,
Good
there we
night.
go. Bye.